1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Welcome into the Maggie and Perloff show. It's a little different today. Maggie is on vacation, quote-unquote vacation, in an undisclosed location. Andrew Bogusch is filling in. There's a rumor out there that Maggie's husband, Andy, is actually trying out for a professional kickball team after he dominated the kickball tournament we had with Deion Dawkins last weekend. Or she might be in Cape Cod for July 4th. But you are here, Mr. Bogusch, and you're on fire this morning because your football team, the New York Giants, was featured on off-season Hard Knocks, which we were debating this morning. Did anyone even know existed? But Hard Knocks, the famous HBO NFL show, is back, and they're doing off-season. It was really unique. It's supposed to be a look into how a team is built in the offseason. So they followed Giants GM Joe Schoen around when he made, I think, two key decisions. Who the Giants are going to draft and what are they going to do about star running back Saquon Barkley. Now, it got mixed reviews in the sense that we did get a peek behind the scenes of what happens in an NFL team. I think there was a little bit of, we're going to show you what we want to show you. But I got to tell you, I'm all in. I was so excited to see how they do this. And I want to be a GM now because that looked like a lot of fun to build a team.
It's the best thing the Giants have put on TV in a while. I liked it a lot. It ended quickly so I could go to sleep last night, too, for this early wake up. And then I walk in and we're all geeked up to talk about it. You loved it. I loved it. And Ryan Botcher goes, snooze fest, too many numbers. So once again, us boomers, are we boomers? We got nothing left. We have no idea what's cool, what's good.
Yeah. I talked to the overnight crew. I'm like, how about that Giants Hard Knocks? You're like, you mean the WNBA All-Star team? I'm like, what do you mean you don't like 50-year-old Joe Schoen talking to 80-year-old John Mara about what they're going to do with the backup running back position? But I was into it, and I think it was actually revelatory about how a team is built. There's one moment that really stood out to me that I thought was interesting because we see these football teams and we think it's this hard science and they are doing things that no civilian could ever do. They are putting up on a slideshow the different running back options for the Giants. And it's Zach Moss, Devin Singletary. They know they're going to lose Saquon. They have to sign someone. And then they put up Josh Jacobs, former Raider, now Green Bay Packer. Great running back. They show a clip of him, and they're like, he's this. And then Joe Schoen, the GM of the Giants, goes, didn't he lead the league in rushing 2 years ago? I'm like, you're the GM, and that's all you know about Giants. He's like, that guy's pretty good. And then they kept saying, Christian Wilkins, he's good. I'm like, good? That's your analysis? So it did strike me as maybe these guys aren't the geniuses we think they are, and they're just trying to cobble together a team.
Well, I was going to assume that the Giants were hiding all of their in-house specialty numbers, like their deep dives on players, and we only got the very surface level breakdown of these guys, whatever proprietary computer systems the Giants use to grade out players. I'm assuming they're hiding. I mean, we couldn't even see new defensive coordinator Shane Bowen's Excel spreadsheet presentation on what kind of 3-4-3 defense he wants to play. So I think they don't want to let us know anything. But I'm hoping that they have a few more detailed conversations in reality than we're being shown. But you're right. And even like Christian Wilkins, I don't remember him ever coming up in relation to the Giants this offseason. Didn't know he was Dexter Lawrence's best friend.
That was interesting.
But he made his way into a meeting and then on to HBO last night.
Well, the Giants were not a good team last year. They won 6 games. So, like, we have pressing needs. And as the show went along, you realize they have a lot of pressing needs. Like, well, we need another interior defensive pass rusher so they don't triple team Dexter Lawrence. We need another explosive offensive weapon. And, man, we need to fix that offensive line. I'm like, you better have 5 first-rounders to make all this work. But, you're right about it didn't really show a certain level. Shouldn't we be critiquing it then?
So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I just work under the assumption that we're not going to get anything of substance on that front, whether it's, in training camp. But I did think in the moment that relatively honest, well, maybe, again, not too deep, but like honest assessments of those running backs, what they do well, what they don't do well, felt open, because like there were things that they going through what Devin Singletary can and can't do, like that might have pissed off Devin Singletary if he wasn't a Giant already watching this last night.
Well, they did say Christian Wilkins is not elite. They did.
Right.
They're like, he's good, but he's nothing like Chris Jones, the Kansas City star.
Yeah.
So that you're right. There are some guys who probably didn't like that, which is really cool. But to me, the most important scene, and maybe the most telling scene for all 32 NFL teams, is when owner John Mara came into GM Joe Schoen's office and had a small, offhanded conversation about Saquon Barkley. I think we have the clip. Let's hear John Mara, the owner, talking to the GM about Saquon Barkley.
March 5th is the franchise tag deadlines. We just met about it because we're not going to franchise him. Like, it doesn't make any sense to franchise him. So.
Unless you think you can trade him after doing that.
Right, and then could we get something and trade him? What are we really going to get? Unless it got down to like $7 million. And I don't want to offer that because I don't want to be like we disrespected him. There's 31 teams. It only takes one to, maybe be open to doing something. If it doesn't get to that, hey, we're going to do the right thing. We're going to let you hit free agency, find out your market, come back, and let us know if we can match it. If we can, we'll have those discussions.
Then it seemed to me, Andrew, that John Mara was not totally down with this strategy. He basically said right after that, well, I'd prefer to keep Saquon Barkley.
And I think what's interesting in that, and it connects to what the Warriors tried to do around Klay Thompson, teams care about what other players think about them and what we think about them from the outside. They don't want to burn bridges. They don't want to be a place where agents and players think you're not going to be treated well or respectfully, whatever. So they didn't want to in any way kind of screw Saquon Barkley here. But yeah, John Mara said, like, I would kind of like to keep him, and we need to prove that we can actually be good without him, which on a personal level, I took some vindication in this episode last night too, because I've been defending running backs in general and Saquon specifically for the Giants, how significant he was to their offense. And you saw that. Like, they were well aware in that one-on-one meeting and the bigger meetings, they were well aware of what they were losing by opening the door to him going out of town, letting him at the open market. Like, they knew that they're taking a big hit in everything they do on offense because he's not on their team anymore.
Okay, but I think they knew the cameras were there, and I think Joe Schoen was careful to say nice things about Saquon. For kind of what you're saying, I think they really probably were saying, "Oh man, we overpaid that guy. I can't believe guys are offering $12 million." Well, I think secretly they knew the camera was there and Saquon was going to watch this. So I think the reality TV part of it kind of screwed with what we were learning.
I guess, but then you got to tell me that the cameras aren't always on, because then if they're always on, then you can't ever have an honest meeting. Mm-hmm. And like in those meetings and we saw it, like the guy that raised the question of, do we actually think no one would trade for him? And everyone was like, no one's going to trade for him. And more than once, Joe Schoen said it doesn't make sense for us to have a 27-year-old running back making $12 million.
Oh, that was brutal when they were talking about the cliff, the 27-year-old
Frank Gore.
Yes,
who, by the way, Pete's not here today, and
Yeah.
Pete's love for Bruce Bochy's huge head is well noted. Frank Gore's head
Gigantic.
makes Bruce Bochy look like he has a normal head.
I love Frank Gore is now a Niners scout, and they saw him at the Senior Bowl, I believe it was, and they had a conversation about running back. So Frank Gore wants to get into the GM game. And by the way, he seemed pretty smart. I think
Sign me up for that.
Yeah, he was really cool. Long-time NFL running back.
Give me Hard Knocks Frank Gore career, and we just watch him move up the ranks.
They basically said, Saquon, he's 27. They were talking about him like he was Joe Biden. Like he was like I don't know.
He was EJ.
I don't know if his cognitive ability is still there. They're like, they made him seem so old at 27. That was cutting. So I think he had to read between the lines. It was a cool show. I'm curious if anyone out there got to watch it last night. And, it's going to be on their app. It'll be there for a while. Give us a call if you have thoughts on the Giants. Was what we were seeing real? And can you and I build an NFL team based on the level of knowledge that was there? 855-212-4227. Andrew Bogusch, of course, sitting in for Maggie Gray. July 4th weekend. I noticed Pete Pilotti's not here. I noticed EJ Stewart's not here. We do have Ryan. What's that?
That was a great time.
Yeah. We don't need Pete. Everything that Pete would normally say has been recorded and snipped into 2 or 3 word form. There's just a Pete soundboard. We don't actually need Pete to be in the building anymore.
Yes, and we did.
See,
we did get some news yesterday. EJ Stewart, our executive producer, is out, tours patellar tendon. Ryan Botcher sitting there. Manny Rodriguez in today. So there is a surgery date. I don't know if I should reveal this, but it is today. EJ is going under the knife, so we hope that he gets back soon. There is still a lot of people are asking about this kickball tournament that we played Sunday. Deion Dawkins, NFL player, charity kickball tournament. I think this is
next year it's for EJ.
It's going to be felt for years. The impact, the impact of this charity tournament.
This crap is crap.
So people have come up to me and said, "Man, I want to be on the kickball team next year." And I'm like, "We are never playing that sport again. It is
We're
super
not allowed
dangerous."
back. We're fragile. Deion Dawkins doesn't need another injured Odyssey employee on his docket after this year.
Well, I was thinking about it. Deion Dawkins is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, he shouldn't be out there playing kickball. It is, basically people who are not used to sprinting from base to base. I don't care if it's kickball, softball. It is dangerous. We're going to talk a lot today about random sports because tomorrow is the hot dog eating contest, which some people really enjoy. I don't really watch it every year. I'm kind of are you a hot dog eating contest guy?
If I'm in the house, I will remember that it's on, but I'm not going to schedule my day around it. Plus, I think my Mets have an 11 a.m. first pitch tomorrow in Washington, D.C.
Really? Is that a new thing?
I think it's a D.C. thing, and the Mets just happen to be there. I think it's part of the day in our nation's capital. Like, there's a Nats game early, whatever, get out of the way for other ceremonies, fireworks. So that's going to have my attention in the middle of the day.
I think isn't the hot dog eating contest right around there?
I think it's maybe goes on the air at noon.
Okay.
So yeah, right in the middle, like right around for lunchtime. Why not?
And this year, of course, the Stars are not going to be there.
That's right. They're waiting until September. Labor Day is the real hot dog holiday this year.
Right. And the hot dog guys, they're not going to run in at the last minute and compete, right? Because they're doing a Netflix special. We're talking about Kobayashi versus what's the other?
Joey Chestnut. They're locked into Netflix on Labor Day.
Oh, so is there going to be a new hot dog eating star?
We're going to have a new champ. I think Joey Chestnut's won 8 in a row. It's like one of the greatest sports dynasties in the most airiest of air quotes. Ends sometime like 1 Eastern tomorrow.
Oh my God, this is so exciting. I probably won't watch, but this is exciting.
You and Maggie are still on the newer end of the Infinity Sports Network spectrum. Back in the day when we first started, we had a great relationship with Nathan's. That on this day, you would have walked in to the delicious smell of Nathan's hot dogs and mustard. They used to come and drop off hot dogs like in a steamer box to keep them fresh with all the Nathan's fixings. And they would send eaters here. They would be part of competitions, judge competitions. They were free hot dogs for like a 36-hour window. It was a great time.
What happened? Bilotti screwed up?
I'd like to blame it on Pete, but I don't think this one is on Pete.
Yeah.
I don't think it was on Pete. I don't remember a specific thing happening other than Joey Chestnut embarrassing himself on our airways, but I don't think that was the official end of the Nathan's responsibility.
What did he do?
He came here, had made some promises, then showed up and said, what promises? And it didn't go well on the air.
He didn't eat or something?
Correct.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yeah, if you have Joey Chestnut in the building, you kind of want to see him eat something.
Yeah, and the problem was he was saying I can't eat and then went on TV and ate shortly after being here.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
That's happened to me on shows before. Maggie had Kobayashi in studio at Sports Illustrated.
Right.
Had him drink a gallon of milk.
I know.
It's nasty. But I'm a huge eater. I feel like I could have been a competitive eater.
So I don't know about the speed of it, but I think I could get to 6 hot dogs in an enjoyable time. Like
6 hot dogs.
Yeah, I think
but they eat
6,
like 100.
Right, and they do it speed. I want to enjoy 6 hot dogs. Like I could eat 6 before I go, oh, that's probably too many hot dogs. I think 6 is a good number.
I have a bet out there with Zach Gelb, who hosts the afternoon show, that I can eat 4 cheesesteaks in an hour. Cheesesteaks my favorite food. I could definitely do it. I'm positive. I had a famous bet where I had to eat a jar of peanut butter. Remember that?
Yes.
Much hyped jar. That was so easy to eat in 10 minutes. Like, I think it's easier than people think to eat large quantities.
I've got to be honest. Nothing has confused me more than the peanut butter being easier to eat than Maggie's jelly. The jelly just seems it's less dense. It's sweeter. It's just I like jelly more than peanut butter. Like that seems to be the easier task. And you ate bonus peanut butter, and Maggie almost died.
Yeah, no, that's because I'm a hashtag warrior, and
That's
Maggie
true.
is super soft. Yeah, I turned super green by the end. I did almost throw up.
But you ate, the one jar that was required, you had no problem with. You tried to show off, and that burns you.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a level of sport. July 3rd. This is what we're talking about: competitive eating. We'll also get into next. Bogusch, I got to get into this Bronny James press conference now. I have on my notes here, Bronny James press conference, ... circus. But I think you're going to stick up for Bronny James.
Bronny James, yes.
Specifically
Bronny
All right, I want to
James,
hear more
not
about this.
the others involved in yesterday.
All right, Andrew Bogusch sitting in for Maggie. Hope everyone is on the road listening to us. I hear there's major traffic, July 4th. I'm excited. It's a Maggie and Perloff show. We'll be right back.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Woke up, felt a change in the air. Manny woke up, felt a change in the air. Reached for his razor, didn't have a care. He shaved it off, that iconic mustache.
4 minutes, 30 seconds
now he's
remaining.
just a face, lost in the mass. Oh Manny, where did you go? Without your mustache, we just don't know. Bring back the charm, the style, the flair. Grow it back, Manny, show us you care. Manny woke up, felt a change in the air. Reached for his razor, didn't have a care. He shaved it off, that iconic mustache. Now he's just a face, lost in the mass. Oh Manny, where did you go? Without your mustache, we just don't know. Bring back the charm, the style, the flair. Grow it back, Manny, show us you care.
Singing sonnets to Tom Clevy's brain.
Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff Show. Andrew Bogusch sitting in for Maggie Gray, who is taking a couple days here. We were talking about Hard Knocks, New York Giants offseason last night. I know as a fact that I could build an NFL team. I often fantasize about it, which is so weird. I fantasize about what I would have done in the past. There's one pick that I know I would have made that the NFL did not. When Patrick Mahomes fell to 10, and I was the Jets at number 6, and they took Jamal Adams, I think it was 6. I would have picked Mahomes there. So I probably could be a GM. That's not saying much to be the Jets GM, especially through the 2010s. But the Giants have been almost just as bad. You're a Giants fan, Bogusch. Did you feel better about the team after last night?
I wanted to. We've already played the John Mara clip, and
Yeah.
one of my biggest pet peeves in the NFL is in a copycat league. The one thing that teams don't copycat is that owners that don't meddle usually have good franchises.
Yeah,
like Steeler ownership doesn't mess around with Mike Tomlin or Bill Cowher, and they're fine. Like the Cowboys will never be good as long as Jerry Jones is in charge.
Absolutely.
So if you don't want the Cowboys to win, you should pray for Jerry Jones to live for infinity. So when I'm watching John Mara kind of suggest like, hey, I want to keep Saquon Barkley, knowing that Saquon Barkley was not kept by the Giants, I want to go, see, that's good ownership. That's why the Giants are perennially good, except they're not perennially good.
Yes.
So did John Mara just disprove my theory, or are they? I
can't figure
there.
it out. It's interesting because the Jets, we know that Woody Johnson is very interventionist.
Yeah.
So that is easy to blame the Jets' problems on Woody Johnson. The Giants have this highly esteemed ownership group that you think would not get in the way, but something's gone wrong there. Maybe just teams get bad.
I think maybe the problem is that John Mara picks the wrong people to then empower with personnel decisions.
Or he gets yes men.
Yeah,
Because
that could be it.
He straight up said to Shane, he goes, so are we going to take another running back with another high pick or mid-round pick? Like, he was looking to replace Saquon with another high draft pick.
Yeah, and it was not a great running back draft. And I actually heard that line. I'm like, oh, you got to look at the board, dude.
And he
There's
said no
nobody
to both.
take.
Shane said no to both. They didn't keep Barkley, and they didn't waste a high pick on a running back.
They actually had another line. They're like, well, the whole rebuild process got screwed up because they made the playoffs 2 years ago and won a playoff game.
Was that Gio? That very first voice?
Was that Gio?
That was Gio. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Gio, our friend over at WFAN. There was, and Shane goes, don't even ask me where the sports talk radio
I
station
hated that
is.
line.
Yeah. Do you think that he was lying, the Giants GM, that he doesn't know where?
I hate
get
those
outta
things.
here.
I hate those lines. Like, you can say I don't pay attention to it. You don't need to go with I don't even know what the number is. He knows where it is.
Oh, he's
and
listening to local
definitely
radio.
listens.
I don't know. I mean, they didn't even know. They didn't even sound like they knew what they were talking about. Why would sports talk radio in New York know what they were talking about?
Okay, he doesn't. I don't. I know for a fact that there are prominent members of the New York sports scene that listen. I mean, listen, it was in the news where Robert Saleh was texting with Joe Beningo from WFAN. Aaron Boone listens to WFAN all the time, the Yankee manager. I'm not saying Joe Shane's listening to BT and Sal in the midday driving back and forth to Giant headquarters, but he knows where the fan is on the radio in his car. So don't tell me, I don't even know what the number is, guys. If you want something, go to a different car. You don't need to go that far. Tell me that you're trying to ignore all the outside noise.
What do you think the local radio has said about Saquon Barkley this offseason? I felt like New York, I live in New York. I'm not a Giants fan in any way whatsoever, but I feel like they were ready to move on from Saquon Barkley. Like, it didn't seem like there was a lot of pushback when the Giants decided, hey, we're done with Saquon.
No, I would maybe 70-30 on the Giants side of this, realizing that Saquon was A, old, and B, expensive. I think, and people realize his significance to the offense, but they understand the position and the finances. And if you were pushing for him to be kept with basically a blank check, I think you were in the big minority.
Yeah, I think even the casual football fan knows you don't pay a lot for a running back anymore. So I think
anything ever for a running back.
Yeah, though that's the way it is now. And in fact, I think the Eagles made it overpaid Saquon Barkley. They did have the money. Real quick, Bronny James introduced at the Lakers facility yesterday. LeBron was there. Ownership was there. Usually a second-round pick getting introduced is not a big deal. In fact, I don't know if any other second-round pick has ever been introduced.
Well, they
to
did
the
have
press.
Dalton Connect there, their first-round pick, just to, I think, be the buffer of, you can ask him a question or two.
So Bronny, I think, is under a lot of pressure. It seemed to me like he did well. Let's hear cut for what Bronny said when he got up on the podium.
For me, I always try to put that narrative of me trying to get my name out for myself. But just coming in and trying to get better, Rob has told me that there's a great development system here. So I just want to come in and get my work in and get better every day.
Sounds kind of boilerplate, but I'll take it. Now, to me, the interesting thing was, and I didn't actually get to watch it, Andrew Bogusch, but J.J. Redick was in the house, our new coach, our new Lakers coach.
And Rob Pelinka, the actual GM, not the shadow GM.
Okay. Now, J.J. Redick is still trying to sell us that they wanted to draft Bronny because of the basketball player. Is that correct?
Yes.
Rob
yeah. All right, let's hear it.
Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this. Right? Bronny talks about his hard work. Bronny has earned this through hard work. And for us, prioritizing player development, we view Bronny as like case study one.
So that was in response to Bronny thanking them for giving him this opportunity and giving him a chance and a roster spot. And JJ said, we didn't give you anything, you've earned it.
Okay, well, that's a lie.
Which is very debatable.
That's not debatable. Everyone knows that Bronny did not earn this. He is there because he's LeBron James' son. He scored 4 points a game at a middling USC program. I'm a big fan of Bronny. I think he's kind of cool. I've watched a lot of workout videos. Kid can jump. He has an outside shot. Maybe they can make it. Is there any chance this development plan, number one, is going to work and Bronny's going to be a legitimate NBA player? I
mean, there's a chance that and people, I think they're still on the small end of the spectrum that think he's going to be a very useful NBA player. I think for sure he would have benefited from being in college for another year or two before making this jump into the NBA. But we understand at this point it's no longer useful arguing all of that. So, I mean, it exists. He's not a bad player. I think the biggest thing for me is that he's a 6'1" shooting guard, not a point guard, and those guys don't really exist in the NBA.
That's 100% the problem. He's too short for what he does.
Right.
And you see him, and he looks like LeBron, and you're like, oh, he's going to be LeBron.
He even sounds like LeBron.
Yeah, and he has some of LeBron's physicality, but LeBron's 6'9", or 6'10", so that's a tough spot for him. He's totally a tweener, and the way the NBA is going, it doesn't seem like he's going to fit in. But hey, they hired J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick talks a big game. People out, he's not here today to rip J.J. But I don't know. J.J.'s, I guess, saying the right things. Dexter Henry is here to do updates. Real quick before you do your updates.
Yes.
Do you believe in Bronny? Do you think there's any chance here?
Do I believe in what about Bronny?
That he's going to be any good?
I think there's a chance for him to be good. But you want to know my thought? I think it would have been better served for him to be good if he was not on the Lakers. But
okay.
I think he's around too much of a circus with his father being there.
And the news yesterday and in the last day and a half is that he's not even going to be in their G League team playing games and logging heavy minutes. They're giving him a roster spot. And that's where I think you really lose he earned this thing.
Yes.
Because every other 55th pick is not getting a multi-year guaranteed roster spot contract. At least most of them are not.
No, you're right.
And he is. And so he's going to sit on the bench, maybe not even in a uniform. And how is that good for his development?
I mean, we all know what's going on.
And when do the questions start coming? When is Bronny going to play? If he's sitting on the bench,
right.
To what you said, AB, when is Bronny going to play? Those questions come. A guy picked the 55th, as AB just said, is most likely getting a two-way contract, not a guaranteed multi-year deal.
So I want him to play game one because what I'm watching for Bronny, that's the first thing I want to see. I want to see Wemby last year. Isn't Bronny? Aren't you interested, though? Don't you guys want to see Bronny in game one? If I'm watching the Lakers and I have to watch Austin Reeves score 13 points and win or lose, I got to see Bronny.
You to watch the Lakers?
Yeah, I want to see the Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr. moment where
I'm good.
where Bronny throws an alley-oop to LeBron or LeBron throws an alley-oop to Bronny. You guys don't want to see this?
But the problem with that is the roles have flipped. Griffey came up because he was ridiculous.
Right.
And his dad was still good enough, I guess, to have a job hanging around for his son to get there at 19. In this dynamic, the 40-year-old dad's the better player, and the teenagers shouldn't be out there with him. It's so bizarre. It's so backwards.
All these hours we've talked about Bronny, I'm not going to get to see him play basketball.
No, he's Thanasis. He's Thanasis and Agupo. He's going to start fights protecting his dad from the bench and maybe have a jersey and maybe get into some games.
That's the best you're going to get.
What are you talking about?
It's going to be 12:45 in the East. They're beating the Pelicans by 30, and then Bronny comes in and his dad goes back into the game.
Wait, am I the only one here who wants to see Bronny James?
I want to see it legitimately happen, and we're far away from it legitimately being necessary to have him and his dad on the court.
I'm telling you right now, I'm getting a rebate on my league pass if Bronny James is not on that darn court.
Do you think they start a chant?
What's that?
Do you think the fans will start chanting Bronny?
Yes.
That's so annoying.
Who do you want to see on the Lakers? Are you buying a ticket to see D'Angelo Russell miss three-pointers?
No, I'm buying a Connect 4 jersey.
Yes, Bronny's a dead-eye three-point shooter based on the one time I saw him playing the McDonald's All-American game.
Remember that one time he shot against Air at the Combine and he missed only 2 shots? That was good.
Yes. What about that?
Yeah.
I saw
What
an
about
Instagram,
that?
an Instagram clip where him and Bryce and LeBron were working out the other day, and he dunked pretty easily. You guys are naive. Come day one of the NBA season, you're not going to care about anything because the NBA season is too long. You're going to care about seeing Bronny. I'm telling you, you're going to stay up late. Dexter, you say that you think he should be on a two-way. What the heck do we want to see Bronny in the G League? We got to see him in the NBA.
I think he'd be better served if he was on any other team but the Lakers for his development. Any other team but the Lakers would have actually been better for his development than being here.
Okay, but as a fan, do you want to see him on the Charlotte Hornets G League team?
I'm not, as an NBA fan, I'm not clamoring to see. I am not clamoring to see Bronny. That's just it. I'm not clamoring to see Bronny. No shade to Bronny. Just don't care.
It makes me feel icky. I still don't like it. He's losing in this. He should be at Duquesne, dunking on people's heads and shooting threes in the A10, not coming in at averaging 4 points a game, and again, not even faking. At this point, making the effort to get him there.
Right.
He's not
is this good for Bronny?
I don't. It doesn't feel like it is.
I agree.
He couldn't go to Duquesne and risk not being good again. He's got to go to the NBA. I mean, there's too much downside.
Next year.
There's too much downside. He's had health pass. I think he had to come up now. And also, do we know that LeBron's going to play another 2 years?
Yeah, because the other day there's a tweet that Bryce could be in the NBA at the end of this new LeBron contract.
Well, sign me up. Are you kidding me?
Dexter just walked out of the room.
It's like a 3-on-2, 2-on-3 drill with Bryce, Bronny, and LeBron.
They're running the weave drill.
Okay, you guys are being too idealistic. We have to see Bronny play. Not only do I want to see him play, I have to see him play. I'm going to call the commissioner if he's not on the court. Because what are we doing all this for?
Please call
Why
the
are we
commissioner.
talking about Bronny James today? It is going to be a historic moment when LeBron and Bronny are on the court together.
I mean, if it happens in real minutes in game 3, the fix is really in. There's no way that dude's a rotational NBA player right now.
Real minutes, you're right. So maybe it's garbage time?
Yeah, and is LeBron going to come back into the game? Or are you going to as you're about to take LeBron out, you put Bronny in for 90 seconds so they're out there together?
Yes.
That's what you want?
not only do I want it, I demand it. And you guys sitting here in July are saying this. Come October, you're going to want to see this happen.
No, I am confident.
You're going to tune in. We have an early shift. You're going to stay up till 11:45
I wouldn't
Eastern
stay up until
to
11:45 to watch
like,
me and my son playing a game together. I wouldn't stay up to play with my son in an NBA game that late. I'm not staying up to watch LeBron and Bronny play at midnight Eastern time against the Clippers. No.
You're lying.
I am not lying.
You're lying right now. What do you want to see in the NBA next year? Like
I want to.
You're like, oh my gosh, I want to see Jalen Green and the Rockets at 8:30 Central.
I want to see Bronny.
Name one thing more interesting in next year's NBA season.
Knicks playing Celtics.
Oh my God! I'll tell you right now, Jalen Brunson dribbles for 16 out of 24 seconds, and the Knicks play great wing defense.
Trying to stop it, Perloff. You know what's even more interesting? Seeing the Knicks whoop the Sixers again. That would be great.
Well, Dexter, I have news for you. Yeah, Sixers on. Sixers are probably going to have the number one seed. They're going to win 60 regular season games and go out in the second round because that's what the Sixers do.
Oh, here we go.
I thought you were going
We're going to kill you in the regular season because I've watched Joel Embiid. He's going to be awesome. Then he's going to get hurt. And then come playoffs, it's all going to fall apart. Doesn't matter. The NBA season is too long, guys. Nobody cares about what's happening in the fall. So you got to. Bronny's all they got.
You're more excited for Bronny James than Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid, and a chance to be the number one seed in the East.
Yes, the number one seed. If the Sixers get the number one seed in the East, they'll lose to Atlanta in the second round.
It's never going to make sense. This is him. Nobody hedges bets like this guy.
I'm not hedging
We're
a
going
bet.
to be good. We're going to be out in the second round. So he's pre-resigned to the early exit. Therefore, he can't be mad about it when we get to May and it actually happens. This is how it works.
Bogusch, when's the
same
last
thing
time
with the Phillies. Same thing with the Eagles.
When's the last time the Sixers made it past the second round?
Moses Malone, I don't even know.
I think it was the Allen
Iverson 2001.
They have not made it past second round. That's 23 years. Why would I think the Sixers? And by the way, I'm not delusional like you Knicks. The Knicks fans are crazy. The Knicks fans, oh man.
I don't know one crazy Knicks fan.
They
except
all
for Manny,
show
Pat Boyle. Oh, all of them. You're right.
I mean, the Knicks. When's the last time the Knicks have been anywhere? That's why you'll all be on the Bronny train. And anyone who doesn't want to see Bronny is lying to themselves.
There's not a Bronny train. It's not a train.
No.
And nobody's on it.
Yes.
Except for you.
No, there is a Bronny Amtrak train. I can pull up the schedule right now.
You're more excited about Bronny than Victor Wembanyama in year 2.
And Chris Paul.
I'm kidding. I mean, just because these guys are getting $400 million doesn't mean they're good. This is going to be the Bronny show. He is. I'll even say it. He's going to be the Caitlin Clark of the NBA next year. We're going to tune in for Bronny James. Bust Jama? All right, that was just to get a rise out of you guys. All right, let's get to some headlines, Dexter Henry.
All right, guys. The WNBA All-Star Game goes down July 20th in Phoenix, with the format being a 12-player team WNBA facing off against the United States women's national team. 2 first-time All-Stars will headline this team. There are 2 rookies. That's the Team WNBA. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. We know that much has been made of a rivalry of the two going back to their days at LSU and Iowa. So now that Reese plays for the Sky, Clark for the Fever, are you excited to see both women make the All-Star team and play for the first time as teammates? Does this excite you as much as Bronny James?
This is exciting. I tend to resist a story that I feel I'm being sold to, and I feel like I'm being marketed, and every time I open my phone, there's something new about Caitlin Clark. But I have to be honest, this is kind of awesome.
But they're teammates.
Yeah, I know. That's cool.
You don't want them to go head-to-head in the All-Star game?
No, because we've seen them go head-to-head. This is new. Will they? I think they'll, I think they secretly kind of like each other. I think they're going to pass. You don't think it'd be cool to see Reese pass to Clark or Clark pass to Reese? That'll be like a feel-good highlight. Kind of like Bronny passing to LeBron.
We got to get you out more. If
Wait! Oh, come on.
Oh, it's one I'm on from Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Woo! Summer's made.
I'm in the majority. I admit, I'm on the minority on wanting to see Bronny play. But Angel Reese to Caitlin Clark, you don't think that is going to be the feel-good moment of the summer?
It's not. I am out of energy on All-Star games altogether, so I guess I'm not your target audience. But no, I will not have my summer turn on Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's All-Star game.
So wait, so it's Team USA,
yes.
The team we're sending to the Olympics versus a bunch of leftovers.
Well, right, because there are 6, I think, WNBA All-Stars on the Team USA roster, so we're not even getting the 12 best WNBA players.
So who's Stewie playing for?
Team USA.
Team USA.
What are we doing?
We're getting them ready for Paris.
It's like training them to. It's like the practice squad of All-Stars.
I mean, did you see the USA select team that's playing the men's team?
Oh yeah,
but it's the same idea.
These are All-Stars.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess there are technically some All-Stars on that USA Select team.
It's not the same. You're saying these are
don't
the WNBA All-Stars, and they're playing the Team USA real All-Stars.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, Angel Reese is dominating the boards. Like, she could out-rebound all those All-Stars, so it's not bad. They're not that far. Caitlin Clark's numbers are pretty good. They're not that far off. What is the U.S. men's select team? Who's on that team? I have no idea. Is it like All-Star level players, or it's a couple levels down?
It's, I would say, somewhere underneath All-Star level.
Well, okay, you're not excited about Bronny James to LeBron James. You're not excited about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Is there anything that excites you?
USA men's select team. Big fan.
Big Jalen Durant fan.
You're a big fan.
Cooper Flagg's on that.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Langston Galloway is on that for some reason.
Former Nick.
Langston Galloway, like the journeyman Langston Galloway?
Yep,
okay.
Yep. Keegan Murray, Brandon Podziemski. You like him from the
Keegan
Warriors?
Murray's sick.
Yeah.
I'm a huge
Peyton
Keegan Murray
Pritchard.
fan.
Jalen Suggs.
So do the half-court shot.
Thompson.
Okay, so this team is pretty good.
I mean, you want Reese and Clark. Give me a Suggs to Amen Thompson pass. That'll make your summer.
If $1 million was on the line, I couldn't tell you what team which Thompson twin is on. Amen is the guy on the Pistons?
No.
Rockets?
Did you know that they share a middle name?
No, you're kidding.
I actually didn't know that.
They share a middle name, and it's pronounced Excellence, but it's spelled XLNC.
No way.
Why?
They're
Why?
amazing.
Go ahead, look it up.
And what I don't understand either, his Amen is spelled Amen, but they don't say
That's right.
Amen.
Amen.
What do you say?
Amen.
Amen.
Well, it's interesting. We were talking about how we think maybe nobody watched New York Giants Hard Knocks. I guarantee no one knows who Amen Thompson is out there. Like this U.S. select team, you have to be a real NBA guy to get into it. But anyway, so what's next? Because I think Bogusch is over Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Unlike the rest of America.
I tried here. Okay, NBA free agency. Let's talk about that for a little bit. The Warriors, they're adding free agent forward Kyle Anderson to their roster.
Actually, no, I actually like that. He's a cool player. I like him.
Slow-mo. 3-year deal worth $27 million. Golden State is executing a sign and trade with the Timberwolves. He will acquire Anderson for a future second-round pick and cash. Pick swap, in cash. And the Dubs, they're not done reshaping their roster. This involves your Sixers. Perloff, according to the Athletic Shams Charania, Golden State is in serious talks to land Buddy Hield in a sign and trade with the Sixers. So I got to ask you guys this. After waiving Chris Paul, losing Klay Thompson, do you like the new look Warriors and how they're reshaping their roster?
Buddy Hield's a sick shooter, but he's got to be wide open. He's an amazing fit there. He's going to be good. And he's not great for the Sixers. He'll be great for the Warriors. That's how this league works. You go to the Warriors, all of a sudden you're going to be good. You're not buying it?
No, I actually like Kyle Anderson a lot. I was just thinking more about him in slow motion, making passes to Steph Curry, and now Buddy Hield maybe hitting threes.
Wait, let me ask you. I thought you were going to say Lauri Markkanen and the Warriors. There's rumors that they're going to trade like that. Yesterday on the show, Maggie and I debated, are the Warriors done? Like, is there any chance that they win a championship? So there were rumors that they were going to go all in. I think Monty Poole might have reported something. A big reporter said that the Warriors are still putting together a package for Markkanen. Is the dynasty over? Is Steph ever going to win another ring?
No.
I lean no. Maybe Markkanen is a Hail Mary.
Wait, you're saying no, the dynasty is not over? Or you're saying
the dynasty is over. No, they're not going to win another title.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because, I mean, Markkanen's good.
Yeah.
But Curry and Markkanen and Draymond Green and Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson are not. They're still probably a play-in team in the West.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're 8th in odds in the West. So it's not looking great.
I'm with you guys on that. Last thing, guys, on Tuesday, UConn legend and 4-time NBA All-Star Kemba Walker announced his retirement. The 34-year-old point guard ends his NBA career as the Hornets' all-time leader in points, three-pointers, win shares, and minutes played. He's also top 10 in franchise history in assists, steals, games played, and rebounds. We know that he built up quite the rep in college as a big-time player. When you look back at Walker's career, do you think more of what he accomplished in the NBA or what he did at UConn with that 2011 run there? What's more memorable to you in terms of Kemba Walker?
You say Kemba Walker NBA, I immediately think, oh, did the Knicks try to do that? It's like the Knicks are the home for retired point guards. I mean, it was who else
working out now?
Yeah, they had. Well, that's true, but there was about 10 years where the Knicks got every over the hill point guard.
You want me to list them?
Did you have them?
No.
I mean, Jose Calderon is there. You got Lexi Shved is also on that list.
Is Raymond Felton on this list?
Pablo Prigioni is also on this list. Remember the 36-year-old rookie, 35-year-old rookie? Oh, yeah, he's back in Europe now.
No, I mean, they were way higher end guys. I know they brought in Iverson for a training camp. They thought about, like, they always have old point guards. Kemba did not work. I think It's terrible because he was a great player. I think overpaid NBA player. That's the first thing that jumps to mind. Is that totally unfair?
No, I mean I don't have a Kemba NBA memory
it's
like
college.
the UConn memories.
Yeah, I think it's college.
You think college memories more?
Yeah, I can't believe I'm sitting here dunking on Kemba defending Bronny James. All right. Thank you, Dexter. Coming up.
We got 3 hours left, too.
Coming up, I'm going to do a deep dive into the Lakers rotation and explain how Bronny James is going to be an impact player in 2024-25. We'll be right back here on the Maggie and Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining.
Now he's got some giant feet, they're the talk of the town.
1 minute remaining.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hav, O-H to the O-V.
30 seconds remaining.
In the heart of the game, under the bright lights, EJ stood ready, aiming for your height. Manny and EJ, they're diehard Knicks fans.
15 seconds.
Living in the Big Apple, they're part of the grand plan, but they just witnessed the crushing defeat.
Break ends in 5 seconds.
Taking the victory, man, that's hard to beat. In the studio, talking about the game. Maggie and Perloff, it ain't all the same. Perloff's a Philly fan. It's hard to stand when your team's on top and your heart's in your hand.
All right, back on Maggie and Perloff. I am the only one here who wants to see Bronny James play in the NBA, apparently. Just as the curiosity, the novelty, we really have never seen a father-son like this. It's going to be incredible. There is going to be game one, an alley-oop dunk. LeBron's going to throw it to Bronny. It'll be in slow-mo in a Nike commercial for eternity. It's going to be a historic moment. Andrew Bogusch, sitting in for Maggie Gray, has no interest.
Which Laker teammate is going to dirty dance catch Bronny and put him in the air to catch this lob from his dad to dunk it over correctly sized NBA players?
In the break, I am going to show you some Instagram videos of Bronny James jumping. That kid can fly. He is LeBron James' son. I would have drafted him just based on genetics.
Which is what the Lakers did. That's the whole point.
Okay. I think there's an interesting theme here of fathers and sons because there's another big move this offseason. Obviously, Klay Thompson leaves the Warriors and goes to the Dallas Mavericks. Now, the Lakers were reportedly in the mix for Klay Thompson, and their color analyst on the radio side is Michael Thompson, former NBA player, former number 1 overall pick. Really awesome dude, most laid-back broadcaster in the whole industry. He apparently was not happy about his son Klay's decision.
Not feeling too much in a congratulatory mood right now. Because, obviously it's Klay's decision. It's his life. He's a grown man, 34 years of age, just like we were 34 at one time. Scal, Frank, and our father used to give us advice. And, we would go choose our own path. And that's fine. That's what life is supposed to be about. But I'm really disappointed. I was hoping, as you can assess, that he would be a Laker, and it was close. It came down to the Lakers and the Mavs, but the Mavs won out. But you know me, I was hoping and praying he'd finish his career with the Lakers.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Klay obviously did not listen to his dad. I don't know how much they talked. Or LeBron. Would you listen to your dad if he said sign with this team? I got to be honest. I was like, whoa, Klay. Maybe I'm juvenile here. I'm like, whoa, Klay, you just betrayed your dad. Forget the Warriors. Like if my dad played for a team and said, come here. I mean, obviously that's what Bronny is doing. I was a little surprised about this friction here. And Michael Thompson seemed kind of honest here. It's like, wow, he's disappointed in my son.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool that he was like, I wanted to be a Laker. And he didn't, and I'm going to need a minute. Like, get back to me in a couple of days, and we'll see how I'm feeling about this. But my actual first thought was not like, not following my dad's advice. I got mad at my dad for not being Michael Thompson. Like, why my dad is not in position to tell me, hey, you should take a job at Infinity Sports Network. I worked there. They took a good job. They took good care of me, and I'm a legacy there. You'll have a good job right out of the gate. Like, my dad, great guy.
Yeah.
But no athletic skill, no broadcasting career.
Yeah, what are the sports genes in the Bogusch family?
I don't know.
Any college athletes?
I mean, no. None of us are good. I don't know how my brother and I even functioned to play good CYO basketball because my mom and my dad are not anywhere close to athletic.
Yeah, there's a rumor, and I never understood that my dad played college soccer, which he's like, and he says it casually like it's no big deal. Like, oh, yeah, I played at Penn. And I'm like, I've never seen you kick a soccer ball in my life, so that makes no sense. Or maybe it was my grandfather. I don't know what. There's some weird. There's some weird stories about. There are some athletic genes because my nephew is a college soccer player, but I have no athleticism myself.
And I don't. We're throwing around the term college athlete too loosely around here. I mean, Maggie said in passing, because I'm again still learning all the family ties, and Maggie said my husband played college soccer, and then said he went to a Ivy League school. Something he played legitimate Division I soccer. No, he played club soccer. So therefore, I played college floor hockey because I played club floor hockey at Fordham. Is that how this works?
First of all, you played club floor hockey?
No, it was intramural.
What the heck is floor hockey? Like floor
hockey on without skates. What do you mean? What is floor hockey? Like deck hockey,
like street hockey.
Well, we were inside. We were not on the street.
Did you play with a ball? not a puck or a puck?
It was a ball, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that game. By the way, the chat, Infinity Sports YouTube channel, misses Maggie tremendously.
I do
Bogusch.
too.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I miss her too. She's on vacation. She'll be back. It's not a big deal. So Maggie's husband, who dominated our kickball tournament this weekend, I don't even think he played. That was intramural soccer, as far as I know.
She said club soccer yesterday, and I assumed
it was a
he
little
played
club
legitimate.
soccer. Yeah, I think playing soccer, is a big time. My dad gave me nothing. He's no Michael Thompson. He is no LeBron James. So give us a call, 855-212-4227. Do you want to see Bronny James play in the NBA? I think you're lying. I think you're lying, Andrew Bogusch. I think everyone here is ignoring the fact that come October, there's not going to be another big storyline in the NBA. It's all we're going to be talking about is Bronny suiting up with the Lakers.
You're moving the goalposts. I want to see Bronny play in the NBA when he's an NBA player. I don't want to see it on opening night for the sake of him and his dad being on the court at the same time together.
But you understand there was a risk that he would never become an NBA player. We would never see this.
Right. But because he fell short of the goal like many other sons of athletes did.
Like Michael Jordan's kids.
Yeah. Like I was okay when Jeffrey and Marcus Jordan didn't make the NBA. I got through that summer.
He's better than those guys.
I guess.
Yeah,
we'll find out
you
on
could
opening
tell.
night when he's throwing out.
He's going to be better
dad.
than those guys. I mean, he was a McDonald's All-American. He is good on Instagram. All right, we'll be right back. We're going to.
He's good on Instagram as your closing point?
We're going to turn to the NFL and the MVP race here on Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
All right, happy early July 4th. Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Andrew Bogusch is sitting in for Maggie, who is off on a well-deserved vacation. We started off talking a lot of Giants Hard Knocks. Bronny James, I'm the only one here who actually wants to see him play because I love basketball, unlike Andrew Bogusch. I can't believe you don't want to see a player who doesn't deserve to be there. There's lots of guys who don't deserve to be there. But let's turn our attention to the NFL. So new odds came out for the MVP award. And it's very, very interesting. It's not exactly what I expected because now Patrick Mahomes is favored, correct, Bogusch?
That is correct.
So Patrick Mahomes' numbers, if you have not been paying attention, have been going down and down and down. Because the Chiefs have changed to more of a running defense team, believe it or not. I know that sounds weird, but you saw the playoffs. They beat the Ravens 17-10. They beat the Niners 25-22. So if I could short those odds, I absolutely would. But if you go down, the really interesting thing is next is C.J. Stroud, Houston Texans quarterback, tied for the second shortest odds with Josh Allen. Now, that was the headline around C.J. Stroud, all of a sudden is second in MVP odds. I don't see that happening. I would bet on Josh Allen. So Josh Allen lost Stephon Diggs. My reason is very simple. Lost Stephon Diggs. He has this new hodgepodge of a wide receiving core. If he kills it this year, he's going to get so much credit. And I think Diggs is already starting to lose a step. I think that he's going to be really good. And it's going to be a Josh Allen narrative, and the team's going to be good. Unlike Maggie, who's a Bills fan, is not as optimistic about the team. I think it's Allen's year. It's his turn. Who do you got?
Well, I'll agree that the context of a Josh Allen MVP season is out there for what you just laid out. Stephon Diggs moving on. It's about him. Roster changes. If they win the AFC East and he's great without Stephon Diggs, Maggie will be leading the parade to voters' houses to get them to vote for Josh Allen as the MVP. So I see that path. I'm going the easy way here. I don't care about declining numbers. I'm sticking with Mahomes, who's the best at the position, the most important position. The Chiefs are again going to win double-digit games. They're again going to win the West. And whether it's to Kelsey or anybody else, he's going to be throwing darts, sidearm, backwards, blindfolded, upside down, and we're going to love every second of it. So since that seems the easy way out, as I take Mahomes, I'll tell you why I'm not taking C.J. Stroud. So I believe the sophomore slump is legit. And then in this case, I think what it is Stroud matches the impressive numbers he put up last year.
Right.
Which will be a very good year, but I don't think he's just now on this skyrocketing trajectory of better number after better number. I think year two is always difficult. I think teams now, not that they were in any way not planning for him last year, but teams have had a whole offseason to break him down, to figure things out. Yes, there's Diggs there. Tank Dell comes back healthy. They probably are the best team in that division. I get all of that, but I think C.J. Stroud's going to have another good year, but not a greater year where you're going to fall over yourself to vote for him. And then I'll give you one dark horse in honor of the absent Pete Bellotti. I'm going to give you Aaron Rodgers. If you want some value here, I'm going to give you straight back from Egypt into the MVP conversation is Aaron Rodgers. He should be good. They should be good, and that should get him MVP votes.
Kind of like Brett Favre in his second year after he's with the Packers, had a really good year with Minnesota, that model. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to talk about Stroud first. You have to realize on paper, the Texans, I'm going to say it, are a bit dream teamy. I mean, they add Stephon Diggs. Nico Collins is a true number one.
Yeah.
Tank Dell is an awesome number two. And Stephon Diggs is a true number one. And they have Bobby Slowick, their offensive coordinator, one of the hottest offensive coordinators, did not leave. He's a little run heavy for me. They added running back Joe Mixon. And you know, nobody really knows offensive lines, but you look at that offensive line, you're like, ooh, I know that guy. I know that guy. They have Laramie Tunsil. They have Titus Howard, first round pick. They have this kid, Kenyon Green, who they like.
Yeah.
Like, they are stacked offensively. Like, there's no reason. Why would C.J. Stroud not take a step up? He's obviously learned a lot. I know he's been doing a lot of fun stuff in the offseason. Sometimes seems not focused, but how does he not take a step forward with that talent around him?
I just think I guess you can take a step forward without super exceeding the numbers that you put up last year. And I think that teams now are going to be even more motivated and prepared to stop him and to stop them. But he's the newbie on the block.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% going to be in the minority in this opinion. And I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I'm just saying that I don't know that he tacks on 10% of yards and touchdowns, everything. He's going to remain dynamic. They could very well win that division easily, and he will 100% be in the conversation. But I don't know that it's enough to knock Mahomes off of a third MVP trophy.
Well, you got to think, too, he had C.J. Stroud, 4,108 yards, 23 touchdowns, 5 picks last year, and he missed a couple games. He got hurt. He had a concussion.
Right.
So those are big numbers. And I think if he plays a full 17 games, it's going to look good.
So you've got 5,000 yards and
it's gonna
35
look good.
touchdowns?
Bogusch, it's going to look good. And listen, they just signed Danielle Hunter. They have Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter on that defensive line. I keep on talking about the Texans a lot this offseason. You just look at them on paper like, whoa, that guy is good. That guy is good. D'Amico Ryan seems like the real deal at head coach. We know he can coach a defense. Look at what happened after he left the Niners defense. They fell apart. I understand what you're saying. Like, listen, winning in the offseason and winning on paper doesn't mean much, but just it's set up well for C.J. Stroud.
Yes, and it is, we're going to be overrun by individual predictions for him and for them as a team. I was just reading Warren Sharp's Colts breakdown and talking about all the things that were going against them last year, and they still won 9 games, right? So the idea being, if they stay healthy, if Anthony Richardson is fully healthy for a whole season, that they were sneaky good last year. We didn't realize it. A full complement of Colts, and they should be that much better. So when I started to think maybe that's the kind of the sleeper team, then I go, oh, wait. They live next to the Texans.
Well, I'll be honest, the Colts had a really easy schedule. I just did a deep dive on.
They had a difficult schedule in terms of defenses
playing
against.
Overall, I just did a deep dive on numbers for this Athlon sports piece that I do. They had the third easiest schedule in the NFL, and that was even a little bit. It was actually even easier than I thought. So the Colts, that's the other thing too. The Texans had an easy schedule. You got to remember that last year. When you look at strength of schedule, the bottom 5 are mostly AFC South because they play each other. Yeah. But the Colts were the lowest in that division. I think that's one of the reasons they got to 9 wins with Gardner Minshew last year. We haven't even talked about it. Did you see what the Titans did this offseason? They added talent. I mean, big-time talent on both sides of the ball, and they have a new offensive-minded head coach, so you can't count them out either. AFC
Who's
South,
their quarterback?
Well, Levis.
I know that was more of a rhetorical question. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know. Yes, he was not good overall, but remember when he came in? I think it was against Miami. He just was balling out. They signed a lot of defensive players, and look at you talking about Aaron Rodgers as your MVP candidate. Tell me who his wide receivers are. Garrett Wilson, the ghost of Mike Williams. Who else is there? Did they sign somebody else?
The ghost of Mike Williams.
Look at Tennessee, for example. They have DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, and Tyler Boyd at wide receiver. There's a lot of talent, and you're looking at the MVP odds. There are a lot of quarterbacks who have better receivers than Aaron Rodgers. I'm just telling you that right now. I know Garrett Wilson is awesome, but I think the Jets are not exactly going to be a high-flying offense this year.
I picked them to win the division last year, And
they might, but if they do, it's going to be some defense. That's why if it's a narrative award, maybe that's enough. But there's no way Aaron Rodgers coming off an Achilles is going to come out there and have C.J. Stroud-like numbers. He's not going to throw for 4,800 yards.
He's a bum.
They're going to be slow. They have a better. They're going to want to run Breece Hall and win with defense.
Yeah, they're not going to win 14-10 though. He's going to throw it.
I am nervous. If he drops back a lot, you're not worried about the other thing. We're ignoring he's a 40-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles tear?
No. I mean, I have my concerns, but my idea of him being the MVP is because he plays all 17 games and because they win that division. And it might technically be about the defense. But if he throws for more than 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns and they win the division and he's all smiles Aaron Rodgers and somebody else opens the door for him, somebody doesn't dwarf those numbers, he's going to get MVP votes. And we're talking about value here. We're trying to take a flyer on somebody. He's I think 6th or 7th down the list.
Right. He's plus 1,600.
Right. There's value there.
Right. So number 1 is Mahomes. That is a bad bet. 2, C.J. Stroud, Josh Allen. Next is Joe Burrow plus 900. I mean, that's a solid bet. If he's healthy, obviously Joe Burrow would be in that conversation. Next, I'll tell you a wasted bet. Lamar Jackson plus 1,400. There is 0.0 chance Lamar Jackson wins the MVP because he's got 2 and he's had no playoff success. Any sport, doesn't matter if it's NBA, NFL, they are not going to give the MVP until he has some playoff success.
What would he have to do in the regular season to fight off all of that? Fair or not, the pushback on the lack of postseason success. 6,000 passing. I mean, he had to break every single record by a wide margin.
He did start to pass the ball really well under new coordinator Todd Monken last year. It took a little while to get going. If he throws for 5,000 yards, which he's talked about, I know that sounds crazy, and runs for 1,000, no. I don't think there's anything.
If they're 15-2,
it's a narrative award. You know that. It's not really just about the numbers. It's easy to have big numbers in today's NFL. It's not Lamar. No, 15. They're going to be. Who knows? They've been 15-2 before. He's got the MVP. Tied with him is Jordan Love. That's a real possibility. He's got a great receiving core. And Brock Purdy. We forget about Brock Purdy. That could happen too. I mean, talk about Aaron Rodgers' weapons.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers in San Francisco? I mean, Purdy's in a great spot.
True, but I think the problem is going to be what we just live with him is that if they're good enough for him to he's putting up big numbers, then McCaffrey's going to get MVP votes. So there's the built-in competition in San Francisco to me limits the Purdy ceiling. He wins MVP. He's an MVP candidate. If McCaffrey gets hurt, and they still chug on offense, and it's because of him and his right arm. Yeah. But if McCaffrey's there, setting everything up, he can't. He can almost never win MVP.
Yeah, McCaffrey's the highest non-quarterback on this MVP list, which makes sense. I don't think at a certain point McCaffrey's getting a little bit older. They just re-upped him. Yeah. I think they had to slow down how much they use him a little bit because I think they need to keep him healthy. They have so many weapons. I think the key for San Francisco is they got to fix that defense. They were not scary last year, which was weird. So
how about the summer that McCaffrey's having too? By the way, I mean the pictures of his wedding, unbelievable.
Yeah, and Olivia Copeland, he's already winning.
She's not ugly. He's not ugly.
No.
All their friends are beautiful. Rhode Island's beautiful. Like the whole thing was insane.
His family's lovely.
Yeah, I mean,
Ed McCaffrey.
His mom and Copel like best friends. They're like Instagram stars. It's like the perfect thing.
I would kill to be a McCaffrey, no doubt.
I just want to be a friend. Again, you want to be the GM after watching Hard Knocks. I just want to be in the room. I don't need to be Christian McCaffrey. I just want to be at the wedding.
Do you know who my dark horse rookie to watch out for is? Luke.
Yeah?
Luke McCaffrey is a sneaky good slot receiver who's going to be immediately a special teams ace. Rice, and now he's a commander. I think he's going to be good. I think he's a commander. I did this thing with Maggie about him recently. Maggie knows the Luke McCaffrey thing because I've been kind of quietly talking about him. I don't know what this is based on. A couple workouts here and there. I think he was at the Shrine Bowl. Anyway, put up a poll, Ryan Botcher. Who do you think has the best chance of winning the MVP? Patrick Mahomes. We got 4 choices here. Help me, Andrew. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud, Aaron Rodgers. Is that our top 4 here?
I think so.
Is there anyone?
Hurts to me, Jalen Hurts is a good chance.
Don't be a freaking weirdo.
He's tied. Jalen Hurts is tied with Aaron Rodgers at plus 1,600. Why? I mean, he's going to lose to Tush Push. Jason Kelsey's gone.
He's got enough motor.
They just added Saquon, who's going to eat up a lot of the yardage. I don't think Jalen Hurts doesn't want to run anymore. I do not see that happening.
You want your summers made with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. My fall hinges on the Eagles. If the Eagles' offense becomes terrible because they can't push anymore, that would be the greatest storyline ever. The greatest.
But what if it was Jason Kelsey's fault, and now it's going to be even better?
What
even
even better?
Holding the push back?
Even better. It worked 100% of the time. 100%.
You can't make
it goes
work
from
better.
85% to 95%. Then you're in trouble.
Okay.
And he can actually throw a football maybe this year, Jalen.
But can I just tell you one thing, too? You know, a normal quarterback sneak works all the time as well. That's the other thing. Just teams, for some idiotic reason, like going shotgun and hand it off, and you can just quarterback sneak and make. Jalen Hurts is going to get it anyway. I just worry that the offense they're going to try and vary it a little bit, do more Saquon, put less pressure on their terrible secondary. It's not going to be Jalen Hurts.
I can't wait for you to love Saquon. You're going to love Saquon. He's juking his way through the NFC East. You're going to be all about him.
I'm not a big running back guy. You really think I'll be into Saquon?
Yes.
He's a great dude. He is so cool. And he's kind of from Philadelphia, so we're into that. But I'll tell you right now.
No, we're not doing that. The Penn State, Philadelphia thing, that's not a thing.
But
you're going to.
Grew up an Eagles fan.
Quads, love it. What were the Giants thinking? I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
That would be super fun, I have to admit. I can't believe there's no way. Mahomes should not be number one on this list.
It's the easy one. That's
there's
why
just
I
no
picked
way.
him.
Like, he's just set the bar so high for what he is that they're always going to compare him to that season he threw 50 touchdowns, and that is never happening in Kansas City again. They're just such a different team.
Right, but now the story becomes that he's the context is that he's winning no matter who he's throwing the football to.
Well, I'll tell you,
winning.
who's he throwing the football to? That's the other question. Travis is off in Singapore,
Dublin.
performing.
He's come closer to home.
He's performing. Travis Kelce at a certain point has to get old. Rashee Rice will not be there probably for half the season. They signed Hollywood Brown and drafted Xavier Worthy. He's a rookie. Their offensive line is topsy-turvy. They're going to hand the ball off to Isaiah Pacheco and win with defense more than you think, Andrew Bogusch.
No, I'm not expecting Mahomes to throw for infinity yards and all those touchdowns. Yep. I just think that he's the best player in the sport. He's going to keep playing well. They're going to keep winning. And it's like people put their ballot and they put his name first and they wait for someone to catch him or knock him off. And I don't think anyone's going to knock him off that pedestal this year.
You could be right. All right, we have a guest coming up later in the show who has a dark horse that we haven't talked about. Maybe a rookie quarterback on this list? Maybe Caleb Williams puts up big numbers? Possible. CJ Stroud just did it. Give us a call, 855-212-4227. If you want to weigh in on the NFL MVP. Coming up, July 4th is a great, great weekend for random sports on TV. We're going to debate which is our favorite right here on the Maggie and Perloff Show.
Because I played club floor hockey at Fordham. Is that how this works?
You're in a 5-minute break.
Victory man, that's hard to...
Top 10 moments from Andrew Perloff's Skyline Chili Bet Payoff. Number 10.
With the cheese, he is very delicately breaking the film.
Number 9.
There is juice cascading off his nose.
It's good.
Number 8.
All the way in. Oh, we have spaghetti. He has found the pasta.
Number 7.
Big bite. Oh, that's a lot of pasta.
You're really getting in there.
Number 6.
Why I didn't.
There we go. Slurping sound.
Good slurping.
Number 5.
Oh.
Number 4.
Oh my God.
That was a full open mouth tongue scoop of pasta. This
Number
is
3.
Oh, it's like he's a 4-year
Number 2.
Using a bowl of chili anymore. Oh, our first rip of pasta.
And the number 1 moment from Andrew Perloff's Skyline Chili Bet Payoff.
Noises as we gobble up. Oh, now it's over.
Top.
Perloff not only owned the shorts.
Where is HR? Do we have HR?
You got to blur this out.
Loaded question.
How do I get over it?
The soccer shin guard.
Maddie and AJ, blurry eyed and rough. Next took a Sherlock and that ain't morning cough. Philly cheesesteaks haunt their dreams like a greasy ghost. Perloff smug voice on the radio. But can't switch it, I can. That ain't morning. Maddie and AJ, blurry eyed and rough. Next took a Sherlock and that ain't morning cough. Philly cheesesteaks haunt their dreams like a greasy ghost. Perloff smug voice on the radio. But can't switch it, I can. That ain't morning coffee enough. Philly cheesesteaks haunt dreams like a greasy ghost. Perloff smug voice on the radio. You can't switch it off the toast. Maggie and Perloff, the starch Georgia blues. Another Knicks loss with the morning news and beats a monster. Maxie's a cheat last night's gun contest left their breakfast incomplete. Brunson shot more like a 3-brick wall. Free throws clinking off the rim like a clown car's big fall.
30 seconds remaining.
Looking like he needs a nap. Year after year, but I'll take hard day to thick and thin. Both springs eternal, gotta let them win. Draft prices gamble a chance to unwind. Maybe next season they will leave their sanity behind.
Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Maggie's off today. Andrew Bogusch sitting in. It is July 4th. I've been watching a lot of international soccer. I know you have too. Mr. Bogusch, the Euros are totally awesome. Copa, not so much. But regardless, it is July 4th. So it got me thinking, what sport do the Americans most own? Like, what are we the best at? And I think I have to take American football out of this conversation because not enough people play it. So dominating that does not really mean the same thing because obviously we're going to beat everybody in that. There's very few, there's like a handful of foreign players, but they could never put together a foreign team to cover Tyreek Hill. Like, it's just not happening. We dominate that. So what do you think is the one sport that the United States of America is most dominant at? Anything. You can go Olympic sport, you can go professional sport, anything.
Can I sound the alarm on this? Because you asked me this question, I don't know, like 15 hours ago. And I spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I don't have an answer anymore. Like, are we in trouble? Do we need some kind of panel formed? Is Congress busy? Is anything important going on? Can we figure this out? Because I don't know what the answer is anymore. Women's soccer just lost in the round of 16 in the World Cup and changed head coaches. Men's soccer doesn't count. I think is it men's basketball still? We just lost the World Cup. I mean, I got nothing for you.
I think it's women's basketball. We kill in that. I just saw.
I think
they basically dominate women's basketball much more so than men because the men. I hate to say it. I think the men they will win this year, but I don't think it's going to be as easy. And they've lost famously. What years did they lose? They lost 84.
Yeah, whatever the redeem team was redeeming
in
itself
2004,
from.
The Steph Marbury brick show that
EJ's
was
favorite basketball team ever, the most important moment in EJ's basketball life.
Yeah. So basically, I think it's the women's team has really completely dominated lately. That jumped to mind. I think obviously we're really good at swimming with Katie Ledecky and Michael Phelps.
I'll give you gymnastics. I think is legit too.
No.
Yeah, we have the
really
reigning
good
all-around champ, and we have Simone Biles.
But that's super competitive. It's not like we dominate.
We win though.
We win, but that is always like very dramatic.
Sure, but we win.
Okay. Anybody else got any nominations for sport we dominate?
I just feel like the list used to be longer, and it's only getting shorter now.
Yeah. Baseball's off the list for sure.
And hockey's never been a thing. And you and I fainted over the Canadian men's basketball team. So
men's basketball is different. Dexter Henry's in doing updates. Dexter, you got a nomination for us?
Yeah, I'm with you on it's women's basketball.
Yeah, they're dominant now.
They're going for their 8th consecutive gold medal.
And nobody thinks that good. Nobody thinks that anyone's going to challenge them, as far as I can tell.
I don't think anybody will challenge them.
I mean, they don't even need Caitlin Clark on the team.
That'd be great if there was like a USA B team. We got 2 entries.
They could win.
3v3.
The funny thing is, in the men's side, men's like we need the best players. I don't know. We're sending over these older guys like KD and LeBron.
Right.
I think this could be very interesting. I think we're going to wonder, oh man, is United States still dominating men's basketball? I just don't think they do. I think it's women's. I am curious. Katie Ledecky is still amazing. They're obviously individuals. We have some big track stars, but I feel like the rest of the world is caught up in a lot of things. I blame the Dream Team and Michael Jordan showing everyone how to play basketball, but that is clearly not the same. And another question, is it okay for me to root for the Canadian basketball team as well?
I think you could have a secondary team until they play the U.S.
Okay. Because it is fascinating to see a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray backcourt.
Right.
That's crazy.
Don't forget R.J. Barrett.
I was easily forgetting R.J. Barrett. They have Dylan Brooks out there instigating. You know he's going to cause an international incident. They got my man Kelly Olynyk at center. They're not even Benedict Mathurin and Shaedon Sharp, who are both very good, are not even showing up for Canada. Andrew Wiggins.
What about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Is he playing for
I just mentioned him. Yeah, no, he's the star of the team. They could beat the United States. Anyway, I think it is women's basketball. I wish there were a couple more sports on this list. Later in the show, now, do we dominate hot dog eating?
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Now, I know that there are people from different countries in like the Nathan's hot dog eating contest and other things, but do other countries do this nonsense, or is this a specific American endeavor?
Well, where's Kobayashi from?
Right, but like in Japan, did he come from the Japanese version of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest?
I think the women's champion of the reigning women's champion of the hot dogs eating contest is from Japan as well.
I think it's huge in Japan. I think
like in Germany, they're pounding like huge German beer hall pretzels at like 8 in a minute, like to win thing. Like this
with
is
some Heineken.
Is that true?
I don't know, man. This is what I'm asking.
Oh no,
like,
there's different eating competitions based on culture for sure.
First of all, would you go to bratwurst in Germany if you're doing the hot dog theme?
Yeah.
But no, in Asia, I think competitive eating is a gigantic thing, even bigger than here, as I understand it.
So do we not even dominate that?
No,
then?
we don't dominate anything like we used to.
We're falling apart.
Yeah.
And everything else is going well.
Thanks,
so
Obama.
You know.
That's all I have to say. Thanks, Obama. Okay. On that note, let's go to...
The libs did it again.
Oh, man.
Let's go to Dexter Henry with some non-controversial headlines.
I thought he was going to thank Bronny, so I was wrong there. I was wrong. All right, guys. Despite ranking second in the majors with 27 home runs, Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani will not be participating in the Home Run Derby on July 15th. Ohtani, who's only hitting this season, not pitching as he recovers from an injured elbow ligament, said that the reason for not participating is because he is, quote, in the middle of his rehab. This year's Home Run Derby is at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Guys, are you disappointed in no Ohtani at the Home Run Derby?
Yes. Ohtani's my number 2 baseball player to watch, Bryce Harper being number 1 because he's on my team.
Bronny's 3.
But and now Ohtani was in it and really didn't dominate like I expected him to last time. I think he is easily the most watchable baseball player. So, of course, I want to see him.
But at least there's the built-in reason to not do it this year. Because it was great. When he did it, he was in it, and then he started on the mound in the actual All-Star game the next night. Like, that was bonkers. But this year, I get it. He's coming off of the elbow surgery. No need to push it. I'm fine with it. But I would love next year, he better be back in there.
Yeah, for sure. You know, one big argument Maggie and I always have is should Ohtani pitch? And
in general?
In general. I'm a huge believer he should not. And I know that's as unpopular as I want to see Bronny James. But I think when people say that, you're underestimating how good a hitter is. I think he is the Barry Bonds of our generation just as a hitter. He is so good that he can win 8 MVPs as a hitter. Like, why would you risk that by having him pitch? Because at a certain point, he's going to have surgery, and you're going to take him away as a hitter. Why would you take away the best hitter in the league? He's Babe Ruth.
But
Babe
he just
Ruth
had surgery, and he's hitting 28 home runs.
Well, yeah, but he can't.
I'll
You
do
can't
this every 3
because
years.
he didn't have the full Tommy John, right?
Yeah, so next time he does, and like Bryce Harper came back eventually and DH'd his way to prominence in Philadelphia.
You can't just keep putting keep cutting on him in his elbow and have him hit 50 home runs.
Yeah,
Don't you think
he'll
his
do what I
value?
ask.
Don't you think he has plenty of value as a hitter? Like, do you really need to see him as a pitcher because of quote unquote the novelty?
Listen, if you need to see LeBron throw alley oops to Bronny, I'm allowed to want to watch Ohtani hit and pitch in the same time.
Fair point.
They're also paying him $700 million.
Deferred.
For the next 700 years.
It's
Deferred.
still
After
$700
taxes in
million.
California, that's like $400,000 a year.
But he's going to get
Thanks,
all of it till he But I'm just saying, you're paying him this much money and you're putting all in. You want to have best of both worlds.
Yes.
Ohtani.
And it's inconceivable.
there is no
he
best of
does
both
them
worlds.
both so well. I'm not
Yeah,
ending
it is.
this
It's
until his
amazing.
arm falls off.
It is amazing. But Maggie said, well, you know what? Like, as a starting pitcher, he'd be so valuable in a playoff series. You know how unpredictable playoff pitching is, and he's going to last as a pitcher. I think you have to protect him as a hitter because he's the best.
Yes,
I mean,
he's
there's
an
no
all-time-
one even really that. Who is a hitter right now? I guess Aaron Judge
That's
and maybe
it.
Juan Soto. But, yeah, I mean, there is nobody hitting like Shohei right now.
Right. He's an all-time hitter
All
and
time.
an all-star level pitcher. Like the pitching is is the lesser part of his game, but it's not. It doesn't make sense that's true.
It's crazy. It's like Bo Jackson. It's amazing, but we've seen enough. I think you got to keep him healthy. I'm being such a nerd here.
Wait.
Yeah.
We have the best player in the game who's a two-way player, and you don't want to see him do that, but you want to see Bronny James.
on a Wednesday night in October.
Why do I want to? I want to see Shohei hit home runs. That's the number one thing. That's, to me, the most exciting thing he does. Do you guys think him having an efficient 7.5 innings is as exciting?
No, but they're
I don't
connected.
disagree. But I think the fact that he's a two-way player is exciting to me.
Right. It's the whole package. It's, the
It's
fact
totally
that he's-
exciting, but if you were the Dodgers brass, would you want to protect? Like, what would you do? You have to admit, like, I do have logic
I
here.
want
You
the
got to
most
protect
chances
him.
for him to help me win games.
What if you know that that's going to lead to an injury based on the recent history of baseball? It is going to lead to an injury.
I mean, it already has, right? To some degree. You're saying that you're thinking that it could be worse, right?
Yes, it will be worse. You
I-
got to protect him as a hitter, at least for 2 more years. I think like you got to let him get his elbow 100%.
Well, my guess is next year he will still pitch under limitations.
What about the bullpen? That'd be stupid, right?
Yeah, because I think that there's still debate on what's more stressful, like
Stressful,
pitching
right.
twice
Yeah.
in 3 days or pitching one start every 6 days.
Right, and how much real warm up do you get? I mean, if you're out in the field, are you going to get a real chance to warm up in the bullpen?
Right.
I mean, that would be cool to come
What
in.
are the innings like when you're coming in? How stressful are those? Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Right, all that stuff.
So anyway, to answer your question, yeah, I do want to see him, but protect Shohei Ohtani.
Protect Shohei Ohtani. All right. Moving on to the WNBA, the Aces, they behind a season-high 34 points from Kelsey Plum. They won their 5th straight game, dumping Caitlin Clark in the Fever 88-69. Now, the game was played at Las Vegas's T-Mobile Arena in front of a sellout crowd of 20,366. Guys, that's the 5th largest in WNBA history and the largest regular season crowd at a WNBA game since 1999. The Aces typically play at Michelob Arena, Ultra Arena at Mandalay Bay, which holds about 12,000 people. The Aces, they're going to have another matchup at T-Mobile Arena on September 3rd when they face the Sky, popular rookie Angel Reese. Now, remember, earlier in the show, Perloff said that Bronny James could have the same effect as Caitlin Clark. Do you think he puts those amount of people in seats, Perloff? I got to ask you that.
Dexter, there was context to that.
I know.
I know. There was context to
Was
that.
there?
It was.
I'm trolling now. I had to. I'm sorry.
There was context. I was joking. I think I do think Bronny James is going to big story, big rating. If he actually gets on the court and starts dunking the ball, everybody will be watching. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it'd be a huge deal. Not Caitlin Clark is like Wayne Gretzky for WNBA. She's huge. You just said that number. Bronny James is not going to pack the stands. Regardless, I mean, meanwhile, Bogusch doesn't want to see her in the
They'd have
All-Star
to do
game.
the reverse. They'd have to move the Laker games from the whatever it's called now to wherever the
Crypto.com
South
arena.
They have to move it from there to the G League gym.
Yeah, to the
with
old
a lack
Forum.
of season tickets, as opposed to what they're doing with Caitlin Clark, moving from smaller gyms to bigger
Wait,
gyms.
you don't want to see Caitlin Clark in the All-Star
Yeah, no, I'm trying to get the attention off me and turn it on to Andrew
I
Bogusch,
see.
sitting in for Maggie Gray. He doesn't want to see Caitlin Clark in the All-Star
No,
game.
you
Look at
said
that guy.
You said it's the best thing of the
You hate
summer.
Caitlin Clark. You think she's overrated?
You said my summer is going to hinge on this in the All-Star game. That's where I didn't join you.
I think it's going to be
And
a
I want to see
gigantic
them.
story. It's
I
going to
would
be fun.
prefer them head-to-head in the All-Star game.
No, I prefer. We've seen head-to-head, so it'll be a great commercial, slow-mo. Caitlin Clark throwing a cool pass to Angel Reese for the layup.
If I get a deep thinking column on the fact that they connected on a pass in the All-Star game, that all fences have been mended.
Yeah, get ready.
I'm out.
Get ready. Watch. I did watch that game last night. It was on Big ESPN, the Caitlin Clark game. She came down, went around a screen, fired up a 40-foot shot. I mean, it barely touched the rim. I was like, whoa, that's not what I expected. She was 1 for 7 from 3. It's hard to play that outside game as consistently because the defenders are much harder. I'm curious. She gets the All-Star game, no defense. She'll probably be great. I don't know. I feel like we are being sold this. Is there a little Caitlin Clark fatigue sneaking in? I sense it in this room.
Well, I think the fatigue is on everybody nitpicking every single thing. Like, we have spent time on what that like cut up of passes that was presented as her teammates can't catch. Then it became, no, she's making bad passes. And we went back and forth. Like, that's the stuff I don't need. I just want the games to happen.
Well, I think the All-Star game will get a lot of attention, and maybe that'll be the end of it for a little while till the playoffs. Do you think that can we keep up this pace where she's selling out gigantic arenas for the sport and setting TV records? Maybe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people are going to want to see. I mean, people want to see her. You know, saw the other night in Phoenix, they sold out there too, and they hadn't sold out a game I think since '97 there. So yeah, I think it still will be there. But to AB's point, it's got to get back to just the basketball. There's so much nonsense that's been talked around the sport. And
it has
particularly
died down this last 2 weeks. It was about 2 weeks ago when people were quote unquote weaponizing Caitlin Clark as a political issue. That's died down. I've noticed like now they're starting to talk more basketball.
But we saw Diana Taurasi like not answer a question about playing her before they played that game in Phoenix. She was nicer afterwards. But before she would like rolled her eyes at a question.
Yeah,
still
but then they played and it was fine. I think, as we see her play more games, it's getting more normalized and it's not like every game is some giant controversy.
I hope so.
I don't know. I still have my most viewed social media post of all time is that. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
The silly
I
thing that
come back to work.
The whole, I think it was Holy Cross, right?
Yeah.
Whoever Iowa played in the first round of the tournament, some woman in Holy Cross was cutting through the lane and accidentally elbowed Caitlin Clark in the face.
Accidentally, still saying it, folks.
They called it a flagrant foul. I'm like, that's not flagrant. That woman just tripped and elbowed somebody. And it was like I had said that Caitlin Clark is a fraud. I don't know what people took. Got 18 million views, and I was on CBS Morning News. CBS Morning News, not like sports news, like CBS Morning News with Gail King. They were like, look at this tweet. What a jerk. And I mean, it has died down. I think it can't keep, she can't be this burning phoenix for her entire 10-year WNBA career. I mean, we don't have the energy for that, do we?
I don't.
I mean, I did ask you guys, I think off the air, because we're good about moving on. Like, how long can she keep people's attention? Like, how good does she have to be to have people not saying that she's not successful?
Well, she's good. I mean, she's pretty good, though. 16 points.
She's very good.
Yeah.
But, what if she doesn't ever win a WNBA title? What if she is just a very good player and not the best player in the league? Then what do we do?
She's looked at as a generational talent, right, AB? And so if she does not do that, there will be a lot of disappointment in that, right? I do think that.
And how long until that disappointment kicks in? Like, does she have next year? Does she have 3 years?
I think she's 22 now. And listen, look at her stats: 16 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, 7.1 assists. So she's going to be able to fill the stat sheet. I think their team's always going to let her shoot a lot. I think being a star numbers wise is enough for 3 or 4 years. I don't think she needs. Everyone knows that Fever were the #1 pick. Nobody expects them to win it all.
You say people have patience?
No, but they do seem. It just seems the positive energy around Caitlin Clark. People are cheering for her. I don't think they're going to be like, "Oh, you better win now," because they know she's not that dominant of a player. Like, it's just some. I mean, does anyone think, oh, she's so good, she better win the title? She's not LeBron James.
No, not this year, but like I don't, and I'm not like predicting it. I think this is just a fascinating case study in our like attention span because it is at a fever pitch for a super long time. But like, when does it turn? And like the people who maybe are quiet now, who are waiting to pounce, when do they feel like they have the ammunition to pounce on her and say, "See, we were right. Like she's not that good, and we got too carried away."
Yeah, we'll see.
It's coming. It's like, or maybe it's not because maybe she just continues to be amazing. But you know there are folks who are waiting for their next chance to jump on her.
Just like people are waiting to jump on Bronny James, like you guys. All right, Dexter, what's next?
Last thing I got for you guys. Jalen Hyatt, New York Giants wide receiver. He stands at 6 feet, weighs 185 pounds. However, this offseason, he's worked diligently to gain weight and in preparation for his second NFL season. Hyatt says that a kid snack has been part of his weight gain plan this offseason. So he said this on Giants Huddle, that it's been harder for him to gain weight because he burns calories so quickly. So after eating, AB has no love for that at all.
I'm just jealous.
After eating a full meal, he has Uncrustables or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich along with a protein shake. Now, for those who do not know, not in the know, Uncrustables, they're frozen, individually wrapped peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It's a go-to for many parents trying to feed their
Joe
kids.
Shane was eating one
I
on
was
Hard
about to
Knocks
say on
last
Hard Knocks,
night.
that was what Joe Shane was eating at Uncrustable. It looked amazing. So
I've never had one. So you said, okay.
Dude, you don't know what you're missing.
Really?
So
Yes.
they look amazing. But I actually, Joe Shane, the Giants GM, was eating it, and I was like, man, that must have a lot of calories. I would love to eat peanut butter and jelly, but I feel like that's sort of an unhealthy food. So Jalen Hyatt's confirming that.
He's confirming that. He's eating this. And so I wanted to ask you guys, if you had to gain weight, what would be your go-to snack? What is the thing you're going to eat to gain the weight?
My favorite
It's
is the dad bod gods. My favorite is milkshakes. I would do.
Yes.
I would dream of. Oh man, Perloff, you're the 3rd round draft pick. You have to play tight end for the Panthers. You need to put on 40 pounds. Milkshakes.
Imagine that. Imagine your boss comes and goes, you know what, dude, you could use 15 pounds. Or like you're an actor and like, I got a little chubby for this movie. Let's gain some weight. And like, okay, that sounds wonderful. And then someone's going to help me get it off after the movie's done filming. Like that's a perfect job.
Dexter, you're a pretty muscular guy. Do you probably eat a lot of protein shakes and things like that?
Yeah, I do. It's funny, but I used to be like Jalen Hyatt a lot, where it was tough for me, my late teens, early adulthood, to put on weight. So I had a lot of weight gainer shakes. You say you're like, what a problem. Why does nobody sympathize with the people who like? I sympathize with Jalen Hyatt on this. There's no sympathy for the guys trying to gain weight.
But this is like sympathizing with the hot person. It's like, oh, too many people want to date me. You guys wanted to gain weight and you couldn't?
Yeah, it's a struggle. It's a real struggle. The struggle is real. That's all I'm saying.
I want to be heavier. It won't stay on.
Because everybody will
muscular.
call you a toothpick.
How much you weigh now?
We should kick
I'm about
balls
210.
for you with
I'm
the
6'2",
Dawkins.
210.
By the way, I just checked out Dexter's body, which is odd. I apologize for that.
You did. HR like to see that 10:05, by the way.
Do you work out and do protein shakes and like do you still?
Yes, still work out, still take protein shakes, but I'm not like actively trying to gain weight. No longer in that space.
Gosh.
But there was okay.
Basically, I need some weightlifting tips. That's where we're getting here.
I can give you some. Give you some of those.
I actually have a legitimate question. I want to keep quiet on this because I don't want to steal EJ's thunder. But no matter, say this very loosely, whenever it's leg day, my quads are like useless for the next 3 days, and I don't know. I stretch before, I stretch after. Yeah. I get on the bike for a little bit afterwards to get the legs moving, and I still yesterday like went down the steps like I was 80. 2 feet on each step, holding on. People are passing me on the subway. Like, what? And no matter what I do, my legs are useless.
I got easy advice on that one. I can help you
Don't
here.
do it.
Yeah, do like everyone else and skip leg day. That's what leg day is for, to skip.
I had a feeling you were going to say something like that. You know what, AB? It's what I just call it. It's a case of the old, man. It just is what it is.
I was
you're
going to
doing
go weak,
leg days,
but all right.
you're getting older, you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
I just feel like I feel like too much.
Yes.
And for too long.
I saw LeBron James showed up at Bronny's press conference. He was walking like I do. He was walking like Andrew Bogusch after leg day. He's got that old basketball player limp. All right, Dexter, we got to take a break. Thank you for the headlines. We have a great call on the line here, Andrew Bogusch. A question that I really want to dive into about holiday movies. Ooh, that's coming up next on Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
Something to say about Tom Brady and a roast on that day. He's angry and he's speaking his mind, saying Brady was out of line. Should've known better, should've thought twice before agreeing to that roast. It ain't right, talking about his ex-wife crossing the line. Peter the line, he says someone needs to find that children shouldn't have to hear all of that. It's not fair to them, it's a matter of fact. Brady, you messed up, it's time to face the truth. Peter the lie, he won't forgive you, that is the truth. Live the face the truth. Peter the lie, he won't forgive you, that's the proof.
There's other ways to get in the good graces of the public than apologizing to the security guard, who was in the wrong, by the way. Why is Drake Greenlaw apologizing? The security guard shouldn't have been anywhere near him. He's an actual player, and this guy is just like a poncho wearing, like he's wearing a windbreaker over there. Get out of here.
Because Big Dom's good people. I don't know what these are two good dudes.
He's a great guy who just involved himself with a play in a massive game in the NFC.
You can say whatever I don't care what you say about Drake Greenlaw, but if you're going to come after Dom, then I just trust your judgment and character. Because have you ever heard a bad word about Big Dom?
I've never heard a word about him, period. I know who Drake Greenlaw is because he's an amazing player. Not
2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
He's got the road trip blues left behind, feeling like he's bound to lose. Perloff's off to San Antonio, can't believe his eyes. But Bogusch stuck at home, his heartache amplifies. Betting against Wembyama, Perloff took the fall, but it's Bogusch left behind, feeling 10 feet tall, a loser in his own right. Can't catch a break, road trip dream shattered. For goodness sake, for goodness sake, Bogusch cruising highways, hilarity and talk, San Antonio shining, the city's calling their names, but Bogusch sitting home, stuck playing life's cruel games. Bogusch waits, he's got the road trip blues left behind, feeling like he's bound to lose. Perloff's off to San Antonio.
Lost in the waves on a treacherous sea, Andrew Perloff trying to find his way back home. San Antonio nights, but the stars don't guide. A bet gone wrong, predicting Wembyama's demise. Andrew Bogusch, the loser left alone, crying in defeat, tears on his own. Perloff, what a perilous fate, a journey of failure that he cannot evade. Perilous journey, lost in the sea. Andrew Perloff, drowning in his disbelief, a bet gone wrong, tears sink down. Andrew Bogusch left to cry on his own.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff Show. Maggie Gray is off today. Andrew Bogusch sitting in as we get ready for July 4th. I'm really excited going down to Philly. Huge family barbecue is going to be great. But I'm definitely going to watch a movie because I have a couple days off this weekend. I'm excited. I'm really interested in this car. Levi from Arkansas has a great question about July 4th movies. Levi, what do you got?
Okay, so my favorite, and I don't know if it's been this way since I was a kid, is like The Sandlot. The Sandlot has an amazing 4th of July scene. But there's so many other like options. Like there's Born on the 4th of July, there's Independence Day, there's a sequel to Independence Day, there's Jaws, So I wanted to ask you guys, what's your favorite 4th of July movie, or what movie would you watch on the 4th of July?
Oh, great question, Levi. Thank you for the call.
Wait, there was an Independence Day 2?
Yeah, they redid Independence Day. I think it's, it's Independence Day 2, but it's not.
Which really would be Independence Day 3.
It's like 30
the
years
original
later.
one, like the actual one, then this movie from the Aliens, and the third one, Aliens again?
I see where you're going here. I think it's Aliens, and I think, who's alive? Now, Will Smith's not in the new Independence Day, right? We got to look at this. I think the answer, by the way, is Jaws.
100%. The
Jaws
is the answer
a
to every
great movie.
question.
But I am a gigantic Independence Day fan. I love that movie. Is that lame?
No, but before we get to that, I just want to point out again that your love for Jaws, my love for Jaws, is another reason why I'm right about why we should be friends.
Jaws is like the third most beloved movie in the history of the country. That does not make us friends. Everybody, who does not love Jaws?
How many people are going to answer Jaws to what's the best 4th of July movie? And you and I basically just did. We agreed yesterday on mashed potatoes and gravy and turkey dinner over 4th of July.
Because
cranberry in a can, and Bogusch had no cranberries at all. So there's the other
No.
part.
These are common takes. Maggie saying that 4th of July food is better than Thanksgiving food was crazy in my opinion.
family is very split on mashed potatoes and on how you get your cranberries. So I don't know what universal utopia you're living where everybody agrees on the same thing. Those are legit fights, and we're on the same side of those fights. So, I mean, just let it happen, man. Just let it happen.
You're like, well, we both like lobster and steak. Oh, like we both like, we both think Sydney Sweeney is cute. These are obvious things that every man has in common, Andrew Bogusch.
You think that people are in agreement on cranberry sauce on Thanksgiving? You got to get out more, man.
Okay, yeah, I know. But generally, people like Thanksgiving food. Hey, back to the July 4th movie question.
Let's not be friends.
So, Sandlot, I rewatched Sandlot recently. It's actually way better. It holds up well. Really good movie.
So good.
But is that a July 4th movie just because you have a July 4th scene? Which gets us back to, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Like, what makes a July 4th? Jaws is not really a July 4th movie.
No, Jaws and Sandlot are summer movies, but they're not
with important July 4th components.
Yeah, I mean, I think more so Sandlot than Jaws. Like 4th of July just kind of in the background of Jaws.
And then you go to Born on 4th of July, which is a searing critique of the Vietnam War.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
like a direct
exactly
hit, too.
You can't really say, hey, which did you like better, Sandlot or Born on the 4th of July? Well, when he was in a wheelchair in Mexico with Willem Dafoe and his life bottomed out compared to when the dog had the baseball. All right, so are you a Sandlot fan? Or
Love Sandlot. My kids love Sandlot. My wife loves Sandlot. That movie is nearly perfect.
Okay, here's the test, litmus test about whether we can be best friends. What's your favorite baseball movie?
Oh, it's not The Natural. I don't think The Natural is a good movie at all.
Okay, I love The Natural, so that's one thing we disagree on.
Major League.
Over Field of Dreams. I'm a romantic. I'm a sucker. I love Field of Dreams, and I love The Natural. And I also happen to love Major League. Major League's good, too.
Now, Field of Dreams moved up my list after watching it again as a dad.
What about Bull Durham?
Bull Durham is number 2. Major League, Bull Durham are 1, 2 for me. And then Sandlot's 3.
Why do people hate The Natural?
So I watched it for the first time maybe 10 years ago. So I went into it expecting this perfect piece of cinema.
Yeah? And it was.
No.
Oof. How about Wilford Brimley? I Should Have Been a Farmer. I mean, there's so many great performances that I don't know why. It often gets critiqued. Like, I don't think Maggie likes The Natural either.
Yeah.
Field of Dreams. If you didn't cry at Field of Dreams, we'll never be friends. You did. Oh, don't tell me. Now, listen. Field of Dreams gets back to the theme of the show. Fathers and sons.
Yeah, cried.
So basically, Field of Dreams says, Dad, you want to have a catch? Oof. We're going to see that in the NBA, and you guys are not into it. Dad,
do you want to shoot around? But
do you want to check me in with 2 minutes left and try and throw me an alley-oop?
No, but
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna bawl my eyes out when Bronny finally gets on the court with LeBron James. It's exactly like Field of Dreams, except LeBron's not a ghost. He's just an older NBA player.
Right. Bronny's the ghost, which is the problem.
No, Bronny.
Yes.
Well,
the way this is supposed to work when it's happened on the few chances before is that the dad's holding on for the son to get there. This is the dad, and then here we've got the son being forced into the league to play with his ridiculously good dad, who still is all of that at 39.
Dad, do you want to throw me an alley-oop? Tears rolling down my eyes.
And
rolling down my eyes. It's going to be the feel-good moment of the year, and you guys are not into it.
And why in your beautiful dream is LeBron throwing an alley-oop to Bronny? Again, it should be the other way. Bronny throws one to his dad.
Anybody can throw an alley-oop to LeBron.
What 6'1" guy's catching alley-oops in the NBA right now?
Bronny can
They're
fly.
throwing him.
Bronny can fly. I saw the comment, 42-inch vertical.
That he should be on a team.
He is on a team. He's on the Lakers.
No, he would be worthy of a team spot if he could fly.
All right, coming up, if you didn't think this show could get sillier and more frivolous, just wait. We'll be back on Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Otis Miller, Tampa Bay, loves the city, come. Living life in 20-second views, scrolling through, he's got no time to lose. Maggie and Perloff, Daly's keeping score, YouTube's his love. He's begging for more, double tap, clicking on that video. From sunrise to sunset, he never lets it go. Maggie snappy, Perloff's got a glow. Daddy's hooked, he's looking for the show. Chasing trends, Daddy's on a quest. Comments pouring in, he's one of the best. From every corner of the internet's reach. Daddy's voice. To preach. Sitting in my room, scrolling through the tube, watching Maggie and Perloff, getting in the groove. Found a viewer in the chat, his name's Delta 9 Brian. Spitting fire comments, he's the #1 fan. Got his fingers moving, typing non-stop, dropping all the knowledge, never gonna flop. Talking about Ryan, he's the king of the chat. With his love for the show, there ain't no doubt. Every episode, he's always in the mix, leaving comments for the host, he's got the tricks. Talking about Ryan, he's a YouTube star.
Billy going down to yellow and brown.
Comments for the host, he's got the tricks. Talking about Brian, he's a YouTube star. Pine Needles wakes up at dawn, coffee brewing, screen turned on. He's got a favorite show to see, the Maggie and Perloff Symphony. Oh, Pine Needles are tuned in tight to infinity, sports radio every night. Maggie and Perloff, your daily delight. In their words, you find your light. From highlights to the every single day on Maggie and Perloff show. There's someone in the chat who steals the show. He sings along, he cracks us up all day. We call him Wronger, but he's always right, okay. Oh, Wronger, our witty friend from the start until the end. In the comments, you're a sight, cheering us on, wrong or right. 30 years married, that's a long, long ride. With the Pacers and the Colts, he's got his pride. Running a pawn shop, wheeling, dealing gold. Wrong, he's got the best tales ever told. Wronger, our witty friend from the start until the end. In the comments, you're a sight, cheering us on, wrong or right. So here's to the laughs, the jokes, the memes. Wronger, you're more fun than a pint of ice cream. For every view, every like, every funny note, we thank you, dear Wronger. The laughter you promote. Oh, 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 Wronger, our witty friend from the start till the end. In the comments, you're a sight.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
All right, welcome back, Maggie and Perloff show. Maggie is off today. Andrew Bogusch is sitting in. It's been a little heated. They don't get the Bronny James thing. They don't believe in fathers and sons. When I say they, I mean you and pretty much everybody else. Nobody's into Bronny. But that's not what we're doing this weekend, Andrew Bogusch. It's July 4th, so it means barbecues. It means swimming. It means outdoors. For a lot of people, it's watching the hot dog eating contest. Little different this year. No Joey Chestnut, no Kobayashi. But it got us thinking about random sports that are on TV, which led us, since it's Wednesday, to our weekly Great Debate.
The Great Debate Series.
Okay, so normally we do sort of analytics-driven great debates like Jordan LeBron or that kind of thing. It's July 3rd. We're going to have some fun here. What is the most random sport that you love to watch on TV? So I'm talking about the kind of sports that are on the Ocho. Remember ESPN Ocho from the movie Dodgeball? Things like roller derby, Quidditch, trampoline, dodgeball, air hockey. There's actually, ESPN once showed a mullet contest, bed races, sports stacking, chess boxing. All these have been on, remember, sometimes ESPN does this thing called the Ocho, and all these random sports. These are the kind of things that are going to be on all weekend on ESPN. And we are going to go around the horn and say our favorite. And if it's okay with you, Andrew Bogusch, I will start.
Yeah,
the most
sure.
random sport that I love to watch is called dock diving. Now, do you know what this is?
Dock diving.
It
Doctors
involves
diving onto operating tables.
It is diving dogs. So these dogs run down this platform and they jump 8 feet in the air and often catch a Frisbee. It's amazing. Or it's called the diving dogs or dock diving.
Who jumps higher, these dogs or Bronny James?
That's not fair. You say that,
And are the pups of the best dock diving dogs pushed forward in the competition when they're not ready?
I'll tell you right now, because this is my new thing, calling things the Caitlin Clark of something. Sounders is the Caitlin Clark of dock diving.
Sounders?
If you see Sounders has, Bronny James has a 42-inch vertical. Sounders has got to be at least 50. You should see this dog jump up in the air. They jump into a pool. Did I make that clear? They're not just jumping and landing. So they can jump higher than ever. And the funniest thing is sometimes a dog will run down the platform and get cold feet. They'll get cold feet and just stop at the platform. So they throw the Frisbee and the Frisbee just lands. So that is my favorite random sport, ESPN the Ocho style. It's July 3rd. I think you're going to see all these sports on TV. There's a lot of great ones. So we're going to go around the horn.
I have a question
about
before we
dock
leave
diving.
Dock diving. Yeah. Now, you mentioned Bronny's vertical.
Yes.
in the very short amount of dock diving I've seen, wouldn't the dog's jump be measured horizontally? Because isn't it about jumping out into the water, or is it a height jump?
So it's a combination. They're judges, of course, a judging panel. I don't know where they got these judges from.
They judge like their execution of the catch.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's different categories. I think there is
artistic
judges.
merit.
There's height. There's distance is a big thing too. Who can get the farthest? So they do measure the distance. I don't know. I'm not a professional dock diving.
You've watched it.
I've watched it many times.
You told us about Sounders. The dock diving dog.
Well, everybody knows Sounders. Sounders is an American icon.
Sounders kid is chomping at the bit to get into this thing.
Bogusch, you're up next. Great debate. Most random sport you love to watch.
I'm good at this because I watch a lot of random things, especially if you tell me it's country versus country. So the Olympics are right up my alley. Give me water polo. Give me team handball. But again, that's every 4 years. So a little more regularly, although I'm not sure this is as random as you want, but I'm a big college lacrosse guy. Most people jump in Memorial Day weekend, semifinals, but I'm watching from the dumbest scheduling decision to play lacrosse in the Northeast and the Midwest in February.
Wait, did you play lacrosse growing up?
No, I wish I did, though.
So you didn't even play lacrosse? You're watching random college lacrosse.
And it started with working high school lacrosse, and I went, this game is amazing. I thought it was just for rich white kids, which it still kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
But I like as if I was some kind of tough New Yorker from Queens looking at my nose up at Nassau and Suffolk County Long Island kids playing lacrosse. But they had it right. I had it wrong.
Okay.
That's a great game. And you give me Rutgers and Michigan in the snow playing lacrosse in February, that's all I need.
Okay. All right. Keep on going around the horn. Dexter Henry is here. Jumped in a little early. Dexter, what's your favorite random sport?
So my favorite random sport is that's a good one. Slap fighting. Has anybody watched any of the professional slap fighting?
Dude, you like that? That is insane.
It's not I like it. I just don't know why anybody would do it. And just seeing the violent hits.
Yeah. Did you see that guy get knocked out the other day? It went viral. It is like they're not even messing around. It's like, what about concussion protocol? The whole object. It's not even boxing. It's just, can I knock this dude out?
Yeah. And it's with an open hand slap.
With like some baby powder too, so you like the dust cloud of the powder smacking off.
Again, maybe I don't know what this says about me, but visually, especially in slow-mo, it's not bad to watch.
You're having a bad half hour. Oh, I'm too skinny. And now you're like watching people slap each other?
Right, it's a big sport. Dana White controls this.
How are the two of you?
This is our first fight, man.
All right, slap fighting. Isn't slap fighting becoming big? Dana White owns it, right? Doesn't the UFC have involvement in it?
I don't even know. I just get these. I get the random.
It's not good.
On social.
Apparently, American audiences love violence.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat has chess boxing. By the way, I read that. I don't even know what chess boxing is.
So you play chess.
Yes.
And then after a move, I believe you have the option to then go into the ring and box and then come back and do the opposite. So it's alternating.
Right. So, I have seen this. So you are half concussed and you're trying to make chess moves.
What drug are you on when you put chess and boxing together for the first time?
Yeah, I don't want to know. Now, do you have more judgment for that than slap fighting?
Well, I feel like I would laugh at chess boxing. Slap fighting, I got nothing for it.
Dexter, let me make sure I get it right.
Yes.
The object is to prove that you can make a smart chess move when you are cognitively impaired, but you just got hit in the head. Right? That's like...
Yes.
All right, I'm
No,
listening.
sort of. Like, what's the point otherwise?
I mean, yeah.
Is it like a round?
So why do you do chess slap fighting? That'd be your ultimate sport.
It's not a bad idea. Now you've given somebody an idea.
Watch out, Dana White. Here comes Dexter Henry.
Slap fighting.
But were we all complaining about the NFL hiding the concussion data and all that? Now all of a sudden we want chess boxing?
Look, I'm not saying that we should be doing it. I'm not saying that we probably shouldn't be playing football the way it is. That's a whole nother story.
All right, Manny Rodriguez, what do you got, buddy?
Well, I am a consumer of the Ocho. I think it's the best 72 hours in television. I have consumed corgi races. I have consumed professional pillow fighting. I've watched professional tag. It's all exhilarating. It's all very fun. When ESPN pulls up the Ocho, I am telling you, it's the best 72 hours in television.
What's your favorite of those? Professional tag sounds amazing, by the way.
Honestly, the professional pillow fighting was pretty cool. Just it's again with the violence, but you know what? At least they're not slapping each other open palm. At least it's a fluffy little pillow that they're getting hit by.
I could say this because Maggie's out here. Are these women in teddies who are doing this?
That's the only way you'll watch?
Yeah.
Did you say corgi racing?
Corgi racing, that's right. Yes. You know, like the dog?
Yeah, no, but it's just specific to corgis?
Yes.
Because they're like short and fat?
Because they're adorable, yes.
Okay.
Have you seen a corgi? Look
Yeah.
one up. Absolutely the cutest little thing. Watch them run a little, 50-yard dash.
They run like I feel like Bilotti would run.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my God. All right, Ryan Botcher, what's your favorite random sport?
Trampoline dodgeball.
What? Gotta look this up.
Because, you've seen slam ball where it's basketball
Yes.
on trampolines.
Yeah.
This is dodgeball on trampolines. So they can bounce off the walls and the floor and do crazy flips and throws.
I've seen this.
It's always on.
Oh.
It's always on? Because
No,
this
not
sounds
at all.
amazing.
No.
Okay. So I've watched my daughter do this, actually, the trampoline dot. There's like a place in Jersey called Sky Zone, and there's some there's some other places like that, and she was playing this with some other kids. Okay, I've seen it before. That is kind of fun.
That does sound pretty amazing.
Not cooler than
But
corgi
Quidditch,
races.
Quidditch also is interesting.
From Harry Potter.
Yes, but it's not like... It's not... Of course they can't fly.
Yeah.
But
Bronny could
Bronny.
Bronny could probably fly. Bronny probably be better at Quidditch than basketball, actually.
But they have to hold like a fake broomstick.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. It's a big
so
deal.
dumb.
My kids have played Quidditch.
Yeah, no thanks.
What?
It's kind of like, it's a little like field hockey. Except,
Okay.
He played floor hockey. Don't get her twisted.
He did. He thought I meant field hockey.
wait, so you guys have, I've watched Quidditch. Yeah, I'm into that. I mean, I prefer the magical flying kind, to be honest, like in the movies. All right, that's pretty cool. Yeah, are you guys going to watch the hot dog eating contest without Joey Chestnut tomorrow?
That's a reason to watch it without him.
Yeah, it kind of opens up the field, right?
Sure.
That's actually a good point. Hadn't thought about it.
I just looked up. He's won every year since 2016. He will be in Texas doing a charity hot dog eating contest with a bunch of soldiers. So
For
that's
EJ
nice.
too.
We covered this Joey Chestnut breaking out of July 4th. And what was it? Because he promoted a vegan hot dog brand?
Correct.
Yeah. But then he said that's not really the reason, and then he announced the Netflix thing.
Oh, so
I don't,
it was all marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think if the dude wins it 8 years in a row, I think he does need to open it up. You can give us a call, 855-212-4227. What is your favorite random sport? I went with dock diving with little dogs. Bogusch went with college lacrosse. Manny, what did you finally choose? You love them all.
Yeah, I love them all. What
Tag?
was it? Professional pillow fighting.
Professional pillow
Teddy's
fighting.
only.
Botcher, you went
Trampoline dodgeball.
Trampoline dodgeball. And Dexter, I can't believe you did slap fighting.
Slap fighting. There we go.
I hate this segment.
Okay. Let's go to Adam in Vancouver has a nominee. What do you think, Adam?
Hey, well, my Canadian is really going to show here, but I'm all for watching curling. Anytime I see a good box bale tournament on TV, then I could sit there for hours and watch them hurl those rocks down the ice.
Curling gets big around the Olympic show. I don't think that's a random sport because it's a well-known Olympic sport. Adam, isn't curling like curling to Canada like as big as I don't know, hockey is here? I'm just kidding. No, but it's a big sport up there, isn't it? Like their clubs and things.
It is a big sport. There are a lot of curling clubs all over the country, and then like we got our big tournaments up here, the Scott Tournament of Hearts and the Briar, whenever that comes around. Like that's a big deal, but it's kind of random in that not a lot of people watch it on TV. It's not the most it's not the most exciting sport to watch on TV. If you're not a fan of it.
You know what? Thank you for the call, Adam. I really appreciate that. I enjoy watching curling on the Olympics. I find it super fun, and I don't even think that's quite random as much as like professional tag. Does anyone not like curling here? I think that's universally at least appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I've done it. Have you done it?
No.
It's hard.
I did, and there's a video out there with me learning to curl.
It's pretty hard, right?
It's hard.
Did you fall on the ice?
Yeah, I fell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell.
You think it's a joke. It's like it's a combination of bocce ball and bowling, I think. On ice. It's really fun. I guess beer greatly improves the experience is what I've come to understand.
I just want to do like the starting thing where you're on your one knee, your foot's on the board, you push, you're holding the thing, and then the very dramatic release of your hand, and it just starts to go. I want to do that once.
That is harder than you think.
Really?
Yes.
What's the hardest part of it?
Keeping your balance while you're having the one knee and pushing off to get enough to get to the line before you have to release. It's getting that momentum that's really challenging.
I found I threw the rock too far, and it went off the back of the ice.
Yeah,
hit a kid. I'm probably a little stronger than you, Dexter. Maybe that's what it is.
Hey, I had trouble gaining weight, so that's probably where.
When you fill out Dexter, you'll understand.
Then I'll understand.
By the way, Maggie, who's not here today, she said cornhole, which is our big rando sport.
And on TV often.
Yeah, and then
you don't need the Ocho for that. That's on regular ESPN2 sometimes.
I don't understand why sometimes you'll see Jay Cutler competing or just random former athletes doing cornhole.
Yeah. But not like in a celebrity way. I feel like it's like they actually just enter. Like it's not like, hey, Jay Cutler's here this weekend. It's like Jay Cutler, the competitor.
What is that right? I thought they were doing like special guest stars.
The one time I saw it, and I can't remember who it was. It was an athlete, but he was like legitimately in it, not just there because he was not a celebrity cornhole thing. Like he and his buddy were like an official team.
Wow, he was good too. Obviously.
Was it him and Mookie Betts by chance? Oh, no,
It's
Mookie
not
Betts
Mookie Betts.
plays bowling. Never mind.
Yeah, no.
You play bowling?
He bowls.
Right? Or he rolls? From,
no, he bowls. He bowls.
From Big Lebowski.
Oh.
Did you just shrug at that? Like you don't know what Big Lebowski is?
I mean, I've heard the movie, but again, I haven't watched it. I don't watch movies.
Regrow your facial hair.
Oh, wow.
And watch that movie.
Why do I have to regrow my facial hair?
I don't know. It's just weird.
I've also never watched that movie.
Ryan, you've watched Big Lebowski, right?
Nope,
not at all.
There we go. 3 people have not. 3 out of the 5 people here have not watched that movie.
Andrew Bogusch is ready to pack it up and go home.
I'm not surprised by this.
Bogusch, if you want to get annoyed, just ask the young people in this room what they've not heard of.
Dexter's not young, though. Like, Botcher's 11. I get it.
Dex.
Wait, okay.
Dexter's old.
Do you know that EJ did not know who Stevie...
You've just been through puberty, unlike Botcher.
Were you here for EJ not knowing who
You haven't been confirmed yet.
Not knowing who Stevie Nicks was? Is that okay?
That was yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean...
I think you should know who Stevie Nicks is.
Yeah.
I can confirm that.
How about the fact that EJ and Maggie didn't know what WKRP in Cincinnati was?
Wow.
Understandable for EJ, not for Maggie.
Interesting. Ryan, who's very young, knew frozen turkeys falling from the sky. But that's a discussion for another day.
They weren't frozen. They were live turkeys falling from the sky.
No, they're frozen.
No. On Thanksgiving, they threw live turkeys out of the plane because they thought they could fly. So they were falling to their...
Who's the one who doesn't know WKRP? I think we learned something here. We did a team kickball last weekend, and EJ Stewart, our executive producer, tore up his knee. We're never playing kickball again.
This crap is crap.
There's a significant interest in curling. I think the Infinity Sports Radio Network and Maggie Perloff show should get a curling team together.
Apparently it's dangerous, too, and we'll find a way to get hurt at that bad
Apparently
boy.
Dexter's terrible at it.
No, I'm not good at it. Not good.
I have curled. I think it'd be super fun. We should challenge somebody else to curling. Get those guys from Levitard up here, and we'll curl all over their heads.
Just give money and stay home. Nobody needs to get hurt at charity events anymore.
All right, give us a call with your favorite random sport, 855-212-4227. Coming up next, it's a sports update that we've all been waiting for that you didn't know that you needed. It's a Little League update from the Bogusch family. It's going to be spectacular. That's next right here on the Maggie and Perloff Show.
Uncle Sam's on YouTube, tune in for some laughs. With a beer in his hand and his feet on the grass, he cheers for the Bogusch and Perloff with a toast to the day. 4th of July is the best, you'll hear him say. Raise your glass like the sky, it's the 4th once more. Uncle Sam's got stories that you can't ignore. From Maggie to Perloff, he's got quite the plan to celebrate freedom with a drink in his hand. Uncle of the year with a patriotic twist, watching sports and sipping brews, none he's missed. He jokes and he laughs, spills some too, it's alright. 'cause drunk Uncle Sam's in charge of the fun tonight. Raise your glass like the sky, it's the 4th once more. Uncle Sam's got stories that you can't ignore. From Maggie to Perloff, he's got quite the plan to celebrate freedom with a drink in his hand. On the fireworks boom and the stars are out, Uncle Sam's still laughing, oh there's no doubt. So here's to the uncle who loves his brew. Happy 4th of July from the YouTube crew. So watch with Sam have a laugh or two. He's the life of the party, brought to you by YouTube. With Maggie and Perloff, it's always a jam. Happy Independence, cheers, Uncle Sam. Uncle of the Year. Some laughs. Oh, Uncle Sam's on YouTube. Tune in for some laughs. With a beer in his hand and his feet on the grass, he cheers for the Bogusch and Perloff with a Uncle Sam's on YouTube. Tune in for some laughs. With a beer in his hand and his feet on the grass, he cheers for the Bogusch and Perloff with a toast to the day. 4th of July is the best, you'll hear him say. Raise your glass like the sky, it's the 4th once more. Uncle Sam's got stories that you can't ignore. From Maggie to Perloff, he's got quite the plan to celebrate freedom with a drink in his hand. Uncle of the Year with a patriotic twist, watching sports and sipping brews, none he's missed. He jokes and he laughs, spills some too, it's alright, 'cause Uncle Sam's in charge of the fun tonight. Raise your glass like the sky, it's the 4th once more. Uncle Sam's got stories that you can't ignore. From Maggie to Perloff, he's got quite the plan to celebrate freedom with a drink in his hand. On the fireworks boom and the stars are out, Uncle Sam's still laughing, oh there's no doubt. So here's to the uncle who loves his brew. Happy 4th of July from the YouTube crew. So watch with Sam have a laugh or two. He's the life of the party, brought to you by YouTube. With Maggie and Perloff, it's always a jam. Happy Independence, cheers, Uncle Sam.
45 seconds remaining.
Uncle of the Year.
Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Back on Maggie and Perloff. Great debate today. Best random sport to watch, usually on ESPN. July 4th weekend, they're all going to be on. Cornhole, dog diving, college lacrosse, you name it. You could probably see it. Give us a call with your favorite random sport, 855-212-4227. Now, there's nothing random about Little League Baseball. It's an American tradition. Here on the Maggie and Perloff Show, we have a team we root for. It is Andrew Bogusch's son, Jake Bogusch. Andrew, of course, sitting in for Maggie today. I care about seeing Bronny and LeBron together, but I care more about knowing what happened to Jake's team. There's nothing I look forward to more than coming in the morning. Give me the box score, what happened, how did we do, how the team do, how many errors were there, usually about 11. You had a big game yesterday, Andrew. What happened?
Yeah, so let me set the scene. This was because Jake's on 3 different teams that we're tracking. This is not just a regular Little League team. This is not the team that you saw in person in that one fateful Saturday morning. This is our town's district team, so it's an all-star team. It's when he's older, this would be the team that theoretically ends up at Williamsport. Like that's what they're
got it. Got it.
So we're playing other neighborhoods, trying to advance deeper into Long Island, then to New York State. Last night, an elimination game. Loser goes home. Winner moves on to the championship round for our district. Long story short, Jake's team did not win last night, but thankfully Jake was okay because I thought for a minute last night that I was going to have to call out today because Jake took the worst end of an outfield collision last night chasing a fly ball. Him and his teammate came together in left center field because they each said, I got it, once. Nobody heard each other, so they kept going. And the kid that Jake collided with was bigger than my tiny Jake. So Jake was on his side for a second, and we were sitting in the outfield. This happened right in front of me and my wife, which was not fun. So he gets up, and I could hear him wheezing, and I see a big left side of his mouth is all red with blood. And I go, oh, man, this is not good. And I could hear him going, and I go, okay, buddy, sit down. The coach is coming out because the ball was on the ground. His buddy got up and picked up the ball and actually threw it into third base, and they got a kid out. So whatever. But luckily, Jake was okay.
Yeah.
Just had the wind knocked out of him, a little bit of a fat lip. Eventually went back into the game, and he was fine. But it was scary for like the first 15 minutes.
I was about to ask, did Jake survive this?
He did.
Would you be in today if he did? Wait, why was he wheezing? I don't understand.
Because he got the wind knocked out of him.
Okay, not because there was like blood in his lungs.
No. He got hit like right. He was playing left field, going towards center with his arm out reaching for the ball. So the center fielder, within the reverse, came right into his chest.
Now, don't they say the first thing the coach says is make sure you call,
yes,
I got it, so someone doesn't get hurt?
And I heard Jake say, I got it, but he said it once, and he said it at a normal volume. And I guess the center fielder called it too, but the same thing, said it once. And you got to be like, I got it. And the other guy needs to peel off. And the center fielder the center fielder's the boss. He can go catch wherever he wants. When he calls it, you got to get out of his way. Right. So they were both wrong. Neither of them were wrong, however you want to look at it, because no one definitively called it. And neither one of them peeled off. So I don't think either one heard the other one doing it. And because Jake was the smaller of the two, he took the worst of it. And it was when he gets up and I could see him like confused and scared and blood in his mouth. It was a little scary for a little bit. So and we had to walk all the way around the field to meet him at the dugout after he walked off with his coach, which is another scary thing, by the way. His coach is my good buddy, tough guy, like rub dirt on it, you're fine. He was the first one to Jake and didn't even try to like talk him into staying, put his arm around him and walked him right off the field. And I'm like, and I thought like the worst was that his like mouth was really messed up. Like maybe he had like lost a tooth or something like that.
Right.
Because I saw the blood. So when my buddy didn't like calm him down or tried to like keep him in the game, just took him off the field, I'm like, this is not good. So in this long walk around, I'm thinking like, are we going to the dentist right now? Then I was like, does he have a concussion? I'm going to call out. Pete's going to be mad at me. All these things going through my head. And eventually he was okay, thankfully.
Thank God, because you're here. You could not have called out today. That would have been really bad.
You would have been fine.
Yeah, probably. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad Jake's okay. That was actually the longest baseball recap you've ever done.
It was scary. I didn't like it.
How'd Jake hit?
Jake actually didn't hit because his turn came up when he was still kind of like recovering, so to speak.
Okay.
And because they didn't play well again, the game ended in the fourth inning. So Jake's turn did not come back around by the time he had re-entered the game. But so on a lighter note, we had a booth review in a Little League district game.
Get out of here.
I know the cliche is you've never seen like something new happen in any baseball game you go to, right? And there was a fly ball to shallow right field. Our right fielder came in. He reached down. The ball went in his glove. apparently with such force that the ball took his glove off his hand immediately. So the ball in his glove is on the ground off the kid's hand, just sitting there.
I don't know the rule on this.
So I saw it happen. I had a perfect angle, like diagonal into it. And Manny was making the safe signal. To me, it's a hit because the kid never actually caught it because the ball took his glove.
But the ball never hit the ground, though.
No, but he never actually had his glove on with the ball. The ball took his glove off him. Like if you went to.
But wait, did the ball ever touch the grass?
No, but listen. But think of it this way: if you went to the fence,
yes,
and jumped to make a catch,
yes,
and the ball falls off, and the glove falls off your hand.
Yeah.
In your glove and goes over the fence, it's a home run.
Different rules.
It's not a catch.
We all know there's different rules around a home run.
So the field umpire signaled out.
As he should.
The other team said that's not a catch. I actually agreed with them. And there, because this game is like a tournament, there's like a supervisor at the field watching everything. So he got on the phone to some kind of hotline with Little League. When they picked up, he brought the umpires into the outfield. So they were like, they had privacy, and the umpires explained what happened to this person on the phone, and then they separated, and he made the out signal again.
Wow!
But it took like 11 minutes. It was crazy.
That is insane.
In a Little League game for 10-year-old Little League.
So they did
and
judge
the call
him
was
out.
wrong. So 100% a hit.
Wait. So I know in baseball, if you throw your glove off your hand,
Can't do that.
and you hit the ball,
Yes.
or you catch it, it's 3 bases.
Yes. You can't
So-
catch with your hat.
You can't get nothing.
Nothing. Only your
So
glove in your hand.
How did this count as an out?
So the umpire, because I saw the umpire on the way out, and I was like, that was some play in right field, and he said he thought what happened was the kid caught it because the kid caught it sliding to his knee.
Yeah,
he thought the kid caught it, and then the ground took his glove off. So he thought he had made the catch and then
had
lost
possession.
his glove.
Yeah.
And because you can't look at it again, that's how he explained it. So that's a catch. But that's not what happened.
Did he make a football move after the catch?
No, he didn't
Was
even
it
know.
Des Bryant.
He didn't even know that he had lost his glove at first. He stayed oddly on his knees with his hand at his side, and he looked down and went, oh, there's my glove with the ball. And he picked it up and he showed it to the umpire as the ump was making the out call. But there's no way that was a hit.
All right. I don't know what to say about all this.
It was a lot.
There's
for
a lot of
10
controversy.
Then the
for
coaches
July 4th.
argued because it was already 11-0, and our coaches were like, "Why do you guys care?" And the other guy was like, "Because it could be 13-0."
Oh,
so that made
God.
our coaches angry. It was, and we
Jerks.
already don't like each other, neighborhood to neighborhood. It was like Yankees Red Sox. It was not. We just needed Don Zimmer to come out and get run over by Pedro Martinez, and it would have been a whole thing.
Doesn't sound like it was quite as close as Yankees Red Sox. All right, great sports debate today. What's your favorite random sport? It's July 4th. It's gonna be a lot of
10
random
Little
sports.
League
Speaking
stuff,
of Little
baseball.
League, give us a call 855-212-4227 with your random sport. Let's get to a couple real quick. Leonard in Ontario has a nomination. Leonard, what do you got?
I got broom ball.
What
Can you hear me?
is broom ball? Is that like Quidditch?
No, it's played on ice, so like in a hockey rink, with shoes that look kind of like Converses, but they allow you to run on ice, and a ball that's about as heavy as a softball, but a little bit bigger in rubber, and hockey nets.
Wow.
My sisters played it growing up, and it was probably as vicious as lacrosse. They weren't nice to each other on the ice, that's for sure.
Awesome. Sounds fun and perfectly random. Thank you, Leonard. I'm not about to try it. Let's real quick go to Barry in New Jersey. Has a sport I have never heard of. Barry, you have to explain what this is exactly.
Before I explain, is Maggie off because you tried to poison her last week, or she's feeling all right?
No, if anything, it would have been a kickball injury, but no, she's on vacation.
Oh, okay. Well, I was telling your producer that it used to be on TV, and it was really very interesting, and you had to give the participants a lot of credit. 2 or 3 three-person teams set up literally hundreds and hundreds of feet of dominoes stacked next to each other, and the most intricate designs you can imagine, up hills and down and around and through bridges and stuff. And there were judges, and then each one went in order, and they tipped it, and they watched them go for 10 minutes sometimes, and then there was the final tip-off where the judges decided the 2 of the 3 would vie for the top space. But it was really amazing how they did it. It was quite interesting.
That is beyond random, and I would stop and watch that. Thank you, Barry. Have a great July 4th. I'm definitely watching all these sports.
I've seen these like mega domino things go, but I didn't realize it was like a competition, like head to head. I thought it was just like one group like showing off, like we're going to do this, and they did it.
I guess you could compete in anything. That sounds good. All right, we have Dexter Henry in here, and I understand there is some hot news. Dexter, what do you got?
Yeah, we got some news that just came in. LeBron James has agreed to a 2-year, $104 million maximum deal to return to the Lakers. The deal includes a player option and a no-trade clause. And now, guys, there were rumors before free agency that King James would be willing to take less money. So I got to ask this. Is LeBron, who opted out of a $51.5 million player option and then signs this deal, is this the right move for the Lakers?
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. You're telling me you have to re-sign LeBron James if you can.
But taking the maximum money, is that the right move?
No, well, they don't have a choice at this point because LeBron's about to go. The issue is he's about to play on the Olympics. And they had a time crunch because of that, and they can't wait around to see if they can sign somebody, right? Isn't that what's going on?
Yeah.
So the Lakers had no choice.
Also, the notion of leaving money on the table for somebody else, no Klay, no anybody else, where he goes, all right, I'll take that max. Thanks, guys. I'll take every last dollar you can give me.
It's a 1+1.
It
so
is.
Technically next year, if there's someone they need,
he can opt out
he
again.
can opt out again and take less.
I mean, that's one way to spin it.
I was wondering about the player option, what the thinking was there. And let me ask you this, too. Does this mean that the goal is 2 years? Because wasn't there a discussion of 3 years at one point?
That was, I think, like the max you can get.
Yeah, and I thought he was interested in that 3 year at some point. I thought 3 years, 150 or something like that. But does this mean like it's really 2 years and that's it? I mean, is he going to walk away?
Oh, that I don't know about.
Yeah.
But
I mean, of course, there's no guarantee.
It's probably more about the flexibility and the power. Like, again, next year from now, if he wants to pretend that he's being helpful by opting out and giving them more space, or he wants to go, hey, I can make $4 more, or any, like, they like having the ability to have the power. So that's why you do something like
No,
this.
you're absolutely right. And that's LeBron's thing, right?
Yes.
He always does 1+1.
I mean, and legitimately, like that's, it's his thing. Like he made the thinking a real thing.
But now that Bronny is on the roster, I mean, he's not leaving L.A. So you say, is it the right thing for the Lakers? Did the Lakers have any leverage? I mean, it really was when LeBron asked for it, they had to give it to him, right? They couldn't play hardball here.
Yeah, and I guess it's also to your point, who could they have signed right now with the taxpayers mid-level exception? Maybe DeMar DeRozan, whose value seems to not really be out there on the market.
But if they were going to do DeMar, wouldn't it be done by now?
I agree. Probably would have been.
And now they're in the second apron, and correct me if I'm wrong, they can't trade D'Angelo anymore. But it's very hard to trade.
It's very hard to trade D'Angelo.
Yeah, very, very hard. So now they're kind of stuck with this roster. So LeBron is coming back for what? I mean,
to play with his son.
Yeah.
Are they a contender?
No.
I mean, they're only a contender if you subscribe to like the LeBron wild card. But like, I don't know that you can do that anymore. Like, because they're still a 7 through 10 seed. They're going to be in a play-in game. He's going to miss time again. Anthony Davis is going to get hurt again. So nothing's different.
Well, I mean, Jared Vanderbilt will be healthier next year.
That's what they're going to tell you. And Gabe Vincent.
I'm just kidding. But no, it does feel like, it reminds me, I keep saying late career Kobe. They just want to be good, right? They just want to, you can't say no to LeBron James because what kind of product are you putting out there if there's no LeBron? I think they're going to be a feel-good story, but not a championship contender. And I guess if you're a Laker fan, that's not the best place to be.
No, you're living in the NBA purgatory.
So right now, I have the Lakers are 9th in championship odds according to DraftKings. So it goes Celtics, Sixers, Thunder, Nuggets, Knicks, T-Wolves, Dallas, Bucks, then the Lakers. Then the Lakers are ahead of the Suns, ahead of the Heat, way ahead of the Warriors, which is interesting.
Oh, they're 9th altogether?
9th altogether.
That seems high.
But who behind them? Who's a better contender? Phoenix is not. They're too thin. Cleveland is definitely not. Miami Heat, I mean, come on. Memphis Grizzlies, that's a huge
Were the
wild
Bucks
card.
behind them?
The who?
Were the Bucks behind
No,
them?
the Bucks were
ahead of them by 1.
Where are the Bucks? No, the Bucks are ahead of them by 1.
Okay.
But there's a big dip. The Bucks are plus 1,100. The Lakers are plus 3,000. So
okay. Wow. So the Bucks are the last legitimate-ish.
Right.
Okay.
Long shot.
All right.
Okay.
That makes a little more sense.
Yeah, the Bucks are pretty much tied with the Mavs. I found it curious.
Where are the Pelicans?
The Pelicans are way down. They're about 14th at plus 5,000. Also, do we really know is Zion even going to be ready by the
and
beginning
is
of the
Brandon
year?
Ingram's going to still be on the team?
Right.
There's all this. And who are they playing at center?
Well, they did get DeJounte Murray. Jonas was I'm a big Pelicans fan because I love Zion.
One other team I have a question about. Yeah. Where are the Grizzlies?
So I think I just mentioned the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are about 13th. They're plus 4,000. That's a total wild card though, because how healthy is Ja?
Mm-hmm. I think if they're healthy, they're better than the Lakers.
Maybe in the regular season, but are they built for the playoffs like the Lakers? You have to be tall to get out of the West right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny that the Mavs are the defending Western Conference championship, and they're 7th. They're behind OKC, Denver, and Minnesota. And again, we're talking about these teams. I don't want to break down the Western Conference, but look at the task for LeBron James and the Lakers. Like, how are you going to get out of this?
He should have gone to the Sixers.
No, we're already old enough. All right, Dexter, anything else?
Yeah, got a couple other things. Yesterday, Donovan Mitchell found out that he's not going anywhere. The Cavaliers guard agreed to a 3-year, $150.3 million maximum contract extension. That one includes a player option for the 2027-2028 season. The 27-year-old made his 5th consecutive All-Star team last season, averaging 26 points and career highs of 6.1 assists and 5.1 rebounds per game. Do you guys think Spider staying in Cleveland was the best move for his career right now?
No, and I think he should be a Laker. If I was commissioner, you know how the commissioner didn't let Chris Paul go to the Lakers? I would have gotten Donovan Mitchell to a contender because I don't think it's going to happen with this unit in Cleveland. And I don't think that's a hot take by any means. He's the guy this offseason. I don't think Paul George is a game changer. I hate to say it because I'm a Sixers fan. I don't think Klay Thompson is a game changer. He's the one guy who could have switched teams and really impacted the title hunt to me. Bogusch, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if he's on the Lakers, they're better. But I only get them to like a 4th seed, a 5 seed.
I don't know. He could take. I mean, LeBron's 40. He's going to need a lot of help. He could mentor Bronny James. It was very important.
Here we go.
He can throw alley-oops to Bronny.
I love it. I love it. He could throw oops to Bronny too. That'd be fun. Last one, guys. Veteran shortstop and former AL batting champ Tim Anderson. He was designated for assignment by the Miami Marlins on Tuesday. Anderson struggled offensively throughout his 65-game stint in Miami. Hit .214 and 234 bats, 3 extra base hits. The 31-year-old Anderson played his first 8 seasons, as everyone knows, with the White Sox, and he batted over 300 for 4 consecutive years. 2019, he had hit .335, won that AL batting title. Guys, this is an incredible fall-off, drop-off, whatever you want to call it, for a former All-Star. Do you think Anderson can make his way back to the majors?
No. And not only an All-Star, he was the batting champ 5 years ago, and he's hitting .214 right now. And that's up from like the last couple of years, and I think the biggest problem is he's just running out of places to go play, and he's also not a loved guy. So I think
he's a little bit of a controversial guy, isn't he?
Controversial guy, yeah. Good, bad, whatever.
I can't remember what he said. Something I remember we did a big thing on. He got involved in something with a teammate, right?
He got involved in that thing with Josh Donaldson. Remember when he said, "Hey Jackie," he made that comment to him.
Yes,
and he took offense to that.
But that was not his. Like that was him, I guess, being the victim. Like that's not. But there's like he just hasn't always been a great teammate.
That's got knocked out.
He got knocked out by Jose Ramirez in a great fight.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know how many people are signing up to like give him a 5th or 6th chance to fix this.
So you think it's a wrap for him?
Yeah, and it's crazy that it's gone this south this quickly and stayed there. Like some guys have just bad years. Baseball sucks sometimes, but he's just never recovered it.
Can I tell you one indicator of how I feel? I'm not super familiar with this game, American League guy. He led baseball with a .335 average. Guess what his on-base percentage was that year?
.335?
.357.
Oh.
This year he's hitting .214. His on-base percentage is .237. Does this dude swing at everything? He must.
He is aggressive and had a little bit of power. So yeah,
that's not good.
Not walking much, clearly.
That is not good. All right, thank you, Dexter. Again, you call us with your favorite random sport, 855-212-4227. Hot dog eating contest this weekend. You got Quidditch will be on TV probably. I'm into dog diving. Bogusch is into college lacrosse. Dexter wants to see slap fighting for some reason I can't wrap my head around. But give us a call with your favorite random sport, and we will break down the controversial Long Island Little League play that everyone is talking about. That's next. Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
In the world of sports talk, under digital skies, lives a fan named Ostrich Eyes 87 with a heart twice the size. He logs on to Twitch where the streams flow like dreams to catch every word from the man of his means. Oh, Ostrich Eyes, watching with awe. Your love for Bogusch, it breaks every law. Through twist streams and chats, his voice rings so true. Ostrich Eyes 87, this verse is for you. From comments to cheers, he's always partaking. With likes and subscriptions, the ground he is shaking. In the realm of sports talk, where legends are made, his loyalty shines, never bound to fade. Oh, Ostrich Eyes, watching with awe. Your love for Bogusch, it breaks every law. Through twist streams and chats, his voice rings so true. Ostrich Eyes 87, this verse is for you. Bogusch speaks, Ostrich Eyes is all ears. His comments and emojis, cheers amongst cheers. In a virtual crowd, he stands tall and proud. For his hero on Twitch, he's always about. Oh, so here's to Ostrich Eyes, with vision so keen. On Twitch he follows, on the sports talk scene. Keep watching, keep cheering, in the digital view. Ostrich Eyes 87, this fan anthem's for you.
One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
There's nothing like a good officiating controversy, and man, did we have one last night. Not sure if you woke up and heard the news, but there was maybe one of the most debated polarizing, controversial calls in the history of Long Island Little League Baseball last night in the Bogusch family. Andrew Bogusch sitting in for Maggie Gray after a long night, a game that went on an extra hour and a half because there was a debate. Real quick, give a thumbnail of what happened in the outfield to your son.
Yeah. Oh, well,
it wasn't your son.
No, thankfully,
your son got knocked out early.
Yeah, he was on the bench, still catching his breath. But we had a right fielder coming in on a ball, a pop-up, sliding on his knees. As the ball got into his glove, it knocked the glove off this kid's hand. It was initially called an out in our team's favor. The other team argued, protested, and the supervisor on site called somebody somewhere with Little League Baseball to get clarification. When that person picked up, the supervisor walked the two umpires into shallow right field so they had privacy. On speakerphone, they explained what happened, and then the ruling from this person on the phone upheld the out call.
Wow. Unbelievable. What is happening to the
And
level
again,
of umpiring in Long Island? It's terrible.
It was already 11-0.
Yeah.
So the other team would have scored 2 more runs had that been ruled a hit. So it was a crucial decision because there's a world you can come back down 11-0,
Yeah,
but
of course.
13-0, no chance.
Of course. All right, let's go to the phone lines. You can weigh in with your favorite random sports. It's July 4th weekend, 855-212-4227. Or you can weigh in on this controversy that I think is really staining what was a great game otherwise. Let's go to Adrian in Maryland. Maybe he could clarify. Adrian, what do you think the call should have been?
Hey, Mr. Perloff. Hey, it's an out call. The umpires probably should have explained. It's just like, when a ball's hit to the pitcher and he can't get the ball out of his glove and he throws the glove to the first baseman and they call him out. Basically, the glove is an extended part of the person. So as long as it stays in the field of play, it's an out. That's why when you see a home run, it goes out of play, it's a home run because it basically goes out of the field of play.
Right. Adrian, I tried to tell Bogusch that home run has different rules. What do you think of that?
Right.
So
it's just because it goes out of the field of play. Just like if it was a foul ball, if the glove came out of the person's hand and it goes out of foul territory or out of foul ball, it's basically a foul ball because it's gone out of the field of play.
But so, Adrian, I understand the point to a certain extent. And another parent brought up what you're describing when the ball is stuck in a glove and you throw the whole thing to get the out. But this play was a pop-up. So the determination is whether the batter is out or not on the catch. And the way I saw it was the ball was never in this kid's glove with possession when it was on his hands.
Well, it depends on if the ball's in his glove when the ball first hits his glove and his glove is on his hand. That's basically a pop up and an out. Now, if the glove came off his hand before he caught the ball, before he made contact, then it's basically a base hit.
Right, but Adrian and Andrew, obviously, when the ball first touched the glove was on his hand because the force of the ball knocked the glove off his hand.
So it was all one motion. That his glove is out, the ball hits his glove, and the glove came off instantaneously. I've never seen it before.
His hand was probably still in the glove when the ball hit the glove.
Yes.
Just like at first base when they call him safe or out and they say, well, the ball was in the glove.
Yep.
Right there on the first baseman, it's basically the same rule.
Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate the call.
I still think Adrian's wrong.
No, he's totally right. He's totally right. Adrian's pretty smart. I think he's smarter than us. So
and the other team, again, that was winning by run rule was still angry after winning by the mercy rule about the call. I was like, guys, we can move on now.
I love, when you were a kid, did you play the game we call championship, where you would find a fence and throw a tennis ball over it and catch it in your glove like you were saving a home run?
Yeah, I still do it.
Do you? Yeah. See, I live in the city, and I don't have a fence where I can do that. I would probably get arrested.
The kids do it, and then I do it because they're doing it. It's a great game. Robbing a home run's an amazing
saving
feeling.
a home run is probably the ultimate baseball move. Like Ken Griffey.
Yeah. Have you guys ever accomplished that?
In real life, no. I've never even come close.
No.
Have you?
No.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? I mean, the athleticism to run back to the fence and jump over and catch a I mean, listen, I tried in kickball, but this weekend, but there was I couldn't get to anything. The other game we did is you're a wide receiver, and there's a line, and you have to get your tiptoes down in bounds and catch the ball, but you throw it to yourself, so it's usually pretty easy.
We do it in my house, like next to the couch or a bed, me and my son, and you fall onto the bed or the couch for safety's sake. But you got to, like, make the leaning, like, toe tap catch at the foot of the bed.
That is a gigantic move. All right, Bogusch, we got a lot going on. We're coming in July 4th. LeBron James re-signs 2 years. It's a 1+1. He has a player option. I think, honestly, come on, guys, 2 years. He's got to retire after this. This has to be the last contract for LeBron James. I guess you never know. I'm all about seeing him for the next 2 years, just throwing alley-oops left and right to Bronny James. The rest of you are rightfully skeptical of this. But
your specific dream of Bronny catching alley-oops is unbelievable.
Well, you think I'm excited. We're about to talk to a football writer who thinks that Caleb Williams, the Chicago Bears rookie quarterback, is about to rewrite the record book. Now, if you think Bronny James is not must-see TV, don't even try to say Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick, slinging around the field isn't going to be the most exciting thing. Can't wait. That's next right here. Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
All right, back on Maggie and Perloff. Andrew Bogusch sitting in for Maggie Gray today. It's almost July 4th. Maggie will be back soon. A lot of news today. LeBron James re-signs. We're talking about random sports we love to watch. But there is always time to talk NFL football. And a friend of mine at Athlon Sports, Kyle Wood, senior writer, Athlon Sports, Andrew, has this theory. It's not even a theory, that Caleb Williams, the Chicago Bears rookie quarterback, a number 1 overall pick, is about to rewrite the record book. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, whoa, that's going to be huge. We've been joking about Bronny James. That's an irrelevant rookie year. Caleb Williams might be a historically significant rookie year. Kyle, welcome to the show. Tell us, what should we expect from Caleb Williams, a former USC quarterback, in year one?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I think in year one for Caleb Williams, I expect him to have the Bears in the playoff hunt. I think this is a great landing spot for the number 1 pick, former Heisman Trophy winner. I expect him to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's not necessarily going out on a massive limb, as he's a heavy favorite. But I think maybe the most exciting part, especially for Bears fans, is he could set some Chicago franchise records in year one. The Bears are the only franchise without a 4,000-yard passer or a quarterback who's thrown for 30 touchdowns in a season. 30 touchdowns is a bit of a higher bar. Only one rookie, Justin Herbert's, ever done that. But 4,000 yards is a bit more attainable. I think that there's a shot that Caleb, with this pass catching group that the team has assembled around him, I think there's a fair chance that he goes for that in year one, if not down the line.
Wait, he's a rookie quarterback. What are we doing here? You're giving Caleb Williams 4,000 yards. You've never seen him take an NFL snap. Aren't you a little nervous about this, Kyle?
I think the weapons are there for Caleb. I don't. Again, it might not happen in year one, but I think year two, year three, he could be the Bears' a single season all time passing leader. I don't think that's necessarily a crazy thing to say, but we did see C.J. Stroud do this a season ago, but only 5 rookie quarterbacks have ever thrown for 4,000 yards, but 3 of them have been number 1 picks, like Caleb.
But Kyle, I thought Caleb Williams was terrible in minicamp and stuff so far this spring.
Yeah, well, I think we've learned to maybe dispel some of those early summer narratives and just let the players play in the fall.
Wait, what about my Instagram feed? I did see him miss some passes.
That's a flag right there.
But there is also, it's kind of a joke, but kind of serious. The history of the Chicago Bears is they let you down at quarterback. You put that C on your helmet, and all of a sudden you forget how to play that position. It's amazing. They've never had a 4,000-yard passer. Maybe it's a jinx. Do you think, Chicago fans have reason to be nervous? Like, we've never done it before. Why is this going to be different?
I think just the quality of player that you're getting in Caleb Williams with the number 1 pick. And again, I think a lot of it really comes back to the landing spot and the weapons that Chicago has assembled for him. I think, some other quarterbacks, first round quarterbacks in this class aren't necessarily coming into as good a landing spot as Caleb is. And he's also going to be the starter from day one. I mean, the Bears rookie franchise record is a lot more attainable. Mitch Trubisky, just under 2,200 yards. I think that is a lot easier number for Caleb to hit. I think we can agree on that.
I think we could throw for 2,200 yards in today's NFL.
Now, Kyle, our common friend here, Mr. Perloff, has gone from dismissing the Keenan Allen signing to loving the Keenan Allen addition in Chicago. Have you been on board this entire time, or have you made a similar switch that Andrew did too here along the way?
No, I've been on board the entire time. I think having that veteran presence is going to be key. I mean, coming in with a veteran in Keenan Allen, having an established player in DJ Moore, and also a rookie arriving with him in Rome Odunze, I think this is one of the better receiving corps in the NFL. And I think Keenan is definitely going to help DJ Moore and Rome this season.
I saw a headline. Tell me what you guys think of this, that there could be 3 1,000-yard receivers on the Bears. Obviously, Keenan Allen's at 1,000 yards, and DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, I think, is awesome. He could easily be. And then you have really good tight ends, and you're probably, with Shane Waldron, going to throw to the running backs. I'm doing the math. That's like 6,000 yards total with these receivers. My point is, like, Kyle, what are the odds of that actually happening? A rookie quarterback not only be able to throw, but be able to find receivers, which I think is another skill altogether. A lot of rookies, like I think Justin Fields, will rely on tight ends or running backs. Do you see all 3 of these guys hitting in the receiving corps?
I think that might be a stretch. I think 2 is possible. I definitely think DJ Moore and or Keenan are going to be in that conversation, but I think supporting 3 is just going to be a tall task unless he's putting up even crazier numbers than we're talking about here. But I think 3 is definitely a stretch.
Kyle, where are you on the head coach in Chicago? Because Matt Eberflus's name comes up almost, second or third in any conversation. We get Caleb Williams, but is the head coach the right guy? Let all of these players kind of reach their potential and make the team as good as possible?
I think the progress that we saw from the Bears down the stretch, definitely a season ago, really just kind of gives me more hope about Eberflus and this Bears team and having the class that they have coming in. I think they can continue that momentum that we saw in December last season and kind of carry that over. And it's a tough division that the Bears are in, but I think that they should be competing for that for a playoff spot. Maybe not for the division title, but definitely for a wild card spot. And I think this is going to be a continuation of the progress we saw a season ago.
Talking to Kyle Wood, senior writer, Athlon Sports. Okay, switching gears a little bit, Kyle. A couple weeks ago, we had a giant controversy took over the show. EA Sports College Football Game has a ranking for how tough it is to play in certain home fields. People are still mad about this. Basically, Texas A&M was number 1, and it's actually the loudest stadium I've ever been in. So I tried to make a case, and nobody from LSU was buying it. You did a really interesting article on Athlon of the 5 toughest places to play in the NFL. Who came in at number 1?
Yeah, so I didn't necessarily end up on a number 1, but we did end up with the top 5.
Okay.
Those top 5 were Arrowhead Stadium, Lambeau Field, AT&T Stadium, Highmark Stadium, M&T Bank Stadium. So that's the Chiefs, the Packers, the Cowboys, the Bills, and the Ravens. So I used the EA College Football 25 factors that they mentioned. Controversial, toughest places to play. So I just applied that to the NFL. So those factors were home winning percentage, home game attendance, active home winning streaks, team prestige, which I guess is kind of in the eye of the beholder, and more. So for that, I kind of threw in weather. But the Chiefs, unsurprisingly, have the best home win percentage over the last years. The Ravens are first all time. Cowboys are always up there in attendance every single season. And beyond the playoff loss to the Packers excluded, Dallas has won 16 straight home regular season games, not overall, but regular. And the prestige, I think the Chiefs right now are clearly kind of the definition of that. And for other where I really factored in weather, I think Kansas City and Buffalo we saw in the playoffs this year, and also Green Bay with the history of some very cold games. I think that's kind of where those factor in. So those are
But they haven't won those cold games lately. Aaron Rodgers famously lost cold to the Seahawks. What was that game where
once to the Giants?
He lost to the Niners when that icy game, and he lost famously to the Giants. But no, that does make sense. Kyle, my question is: these just seem like the 5 best teams, though. When you crunch the numbers, which is a little different. EA, like Texas A&M, was nobody's number 1 team, but Alabama was high up on the list. Do you think there's a bad team that came close to making this list? A team that you wouldn't have thought of that really is way better at home?
I wouldn't necessarily say they're a bad team, but the Seahawks were a team that was, and I definitely think people talk about the 12th man. Maybe they're not the team they were 10 years ago, but I still think that there's a legitimate home field advantage. And I did see just in research for the piece, Mahomes had said something I believe is on the Manning cast that the Ravens, M&T Bank Stadium and Lumen Field were the only away games he's had to go to a silent count for. So that also kind of factored into the just hearing that from the best quarterback in the NFL. I think some weight.
Yeah, because like Seattle's the only one that I can think of that like the atmosphere is a thing. Like you lose in Dallas because the Cowboys are good. You don't walk into Jerry World and go, oh man, I'm frightened by all of these people or this weird building. Like Seattle, it's loud. It's not always great weather. They're right on top of you. Like that's an atmosphere, but it's still nothing like maybe the top 15 college venues.
Well, I think Lambeau, you could argue, has some of that. But one thing that's not on here, we're talking to Kyle Wood, senior writer, Athlon Sports. Philly, I mean, that's, and I'll tell you.
But the vet felt dangerous.
But I got to tell you, the link, the Niners NFC title game, the one where Purdy got hurt, I felt like the officials were terrified of the crowd, and they should have been, because there was violence in the air. Did Philly? I'm surprised Philly couldn't quite make it to this list. It must be when you're looking at metrics, that's the only reason, because just eyeballing.
No, it was about you. We just want to be nice to you.
But that's a tough place to play.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised too. I know the last few years, the Eagles have been, for the most part, a tough out at home. I think a couple years ago, I was there for their only home loss, the Commanders game. So I was surprised to see Philly not on there. But I think if you're talking kind of atmosphere and just fan intensity, the Eagles are definitely up there.
Awesome, Kyle. I want to do a side bet. Kyle Wood, senior writer, Athlon Sports. I think Jaden Daniels beats Caleb Williams for Rookie of the Year. You in? Wow. What do you want? You want some stakes here?
Sure. What are we talking?
I don't know, Bogusch. What do you think? If I get Jaden Daniels, and we do a lot of food bets on the show here. Right. It's usually city related. So if Chicago, Caleb Williams wins Rookie of the Year, I have to buy you a deep dish pizza from, what is it? What's it called?
Lou Malnati's.
Lou Malnati's, which you can buy frozen. I will send you a deep dish pizza. Now, if Jaden Daniels wins from Washington, close enough to Baltimore crab cakes, you have to send me some frozen crab cakes.
Okay, that deal.
That fair? Well, I don't know. I'm cheating on DC. They don't really have a food.
I was going to say, or you like skew into Virginia and maybe throw some barbecue in there. I don't know what the right DC food thing is.
It's got to be crab cakes.
All right.
I love crab cakes. I don't know. Are you a deep dish pizza fan, Kyle? Some people like thinner crust.
I do love some deep dish, and I'm pretty confident in Caleb, so I'm hoping I have some coming my way in January or whenever we're announced. But DC, I live in DC, and the half smoke sausage hot dog kind of that might be your go-to if Jaden wins.
Yeah. Oh, so what's the local temperature there on Jaden? Is I think seems optimistic. Bogusch was joking about the Instagram clips. Like he throws in practice, it looks pretty nice to me.
Yeah, I think just Jaden's arrival, but also new ownership, new coach. Yeah. Like I really think it is a new era, and Jaden is a kind of a shining part of that. So I think people are excited about him, and also just kind of a team that's building towards something in DC.
Bogusch, you want in with some Malik Neighbors You want to?
No thanks.
He's a Giants fan. Okay.
I'll pass.
Kyle, really appreciate the time. Look forward to seeing how this Caleb Williams thing plays out. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Kyle.
Wait, Malik Neighbors, he's exciting. He's awesome, by the way. It's just I know what your concern is. It's the quarterback.
And whether the quarterback has time to throw to Malik Neighbors, or because Saquon Barkley's gone, everyone's covering Malik Neighbors, and therefore he's not going to catch passes to have any kind of production.
Well, Odell came in and was pretty good. LSU, very similar players, ironically.
I'll take that.
Yeah, you will, for a couple years. Hopefully Malik Neighbors actually has a little more staying power.
Yeah.
Real quick before we break, we got a lot going on. We're going to talk soccer in a second about the U.S. team. LeBron James signs a new deal with the Lakers. Woj just tweeted something interesting. So LeBron signs a 2-year, $104 million maximum contract. Woj says there's still some details to work out about him taking $1 million less to stay under the second apron. In other words, give the team a little bit of flexibility moving forward. We were laughing like, yeah, take $1 million less so you can sign someone because you're going to need help. This is a wild situation with the Lakers.
And I'm going to defend LeBron 9 times out of 10, but even now, everything is just so tedious. Like, all right, I'm going to save you money if you sign somebody. We didn't sign anybody, so I'm going to take almost every last dollar, but maybe I'll leave $2 million behind, and I'm going to want credit for that. But we're still working on it. It's
no
taking
one
some
said
time.
credit. No one said credit.
But I mean, the point of us knowing that he was willing to take a $30 million pay cut to sign Klay Thompson because they want us to go, what a great job LeBron's doing. And now they want us to go, oh, okay, so we kept him under the second apron. A good dad.
I'm getting some Pete-Pilati energy from you right now. I'm going to be honest. Like, Pete hates J.J. Redick and the
I'm
Lakers so much.
insulted by this.
No, I know you are.
I'm insulted.
I know you are, but your refusal to give LeBron James credit for working out his deal.
Why is it taking so long to leave $1 million behind to stay under the second apron, to not sign the next Klay Thompson?
A great time.
Thanks, Pete.
All right, well, the Lakers are a mess, but we're about to talk about a team that is definitely in worse shape, believe it or not. In fact, far worse shape, I think. But we'll get to the bottom. What's next for U.S. soccer right here, Maggie and Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining.
games on YouTube.
2
Tune
minutes,
in and
30
for
seconds
some laughs. With a beer in his hand and his feet on the grass, he cheers for the Bogusch and Perloff. With a toast to the day, 4th of July is the best you'll hear him say. Raise your glass like the sky, it's the 4th once more. Uncle Sam's got stories that you can't ignore. From Maggie to Perloff, he's got quite the plan to celebrate freedom with a drink in his hand. Uncle of
2
the
minutes
year with
remaining.
a patriotic twist. Watching sports and sipping brews, none he's missed. He jokes and he laughs, spills some too, it's alright. Cause Drunkle Sam's in charge of the fun tonight. Raise your glass like the sky, it's the 4th once more. Drunkle Sam's got stories that you can't ignore. From Maggie to Perloff, he's got quite the plan to celebrate freedom with a drink in his hand.
1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff on this Wednesday morning. Andrew Bogusch in for Maggie. So far, so good through 3 hours and 20 minutes babysitting Perloff. Ryan Botcher, Manny Rodriguez here as well. And it's time to talk some soccer because U.S. men's soccer is out of Copa America, refueling the debate about Greg Berhalter's legitimacy as their head coach and where the program altogether goes towards the World Cup in 2026. Felipe Cardenas is covering U.S. men's soccer, Copa America for The Athletic, and he's with us now here this morning on the Infinity Sports Network. Felipe, it's Andrew. And Andrew, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing well. How are you?
We're doing really well. Thanks again for joining us. So a very simple question, I think. Will Greg Berhalter remain the head coach of U.S. men's soccer?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're all waiting to find out. You know, I think reports are still pretty much what they were after that devastating loss to Uruguay. U.S. Soccer is going to evaluate the program. They're going to evaluate the project under Greg Berhalter. And honestly, that has rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way and pundits as well, because that's what they did last time when they hired him for a second cycle. So if you're asking me what's going to happen, I don't have reporting yet to confirm any moves, but my personal opinion is that I don't think U.S. Soccer can message this move in keeping Greg Berhalter and satisfy the fan base, satisfy the pundits as well. So I think a move is probably expected. A new leader, a new voice is what this team needs, in my opinion.
And for those that don't know the full story, it's not as simple as he's the head coach. His brother is his boss, kind of. Like, so walk us through the inner dynamics here of U.S. men's soccer.
Yeah, I mean, I think when he was hired initially, there was a lot of angst because of that the act of nepotism, right? His brother is a high-ranking official in U.S. Soccer. And that was what a lot of people thought got Greg Berhalter the job. Now, Greg Berhalter, when he got the job before the 2022 World Cup, he was a very successful coach in Major League Soccer with the Columbus Crew, known for his tactics, known for being very smart tactically, and honestly, like, pretty progressive with the way that he thought about the game. Well liked by his players. And so those are the things those boxes were checked. But the fact that he had a sibling in a high-ranking position at the Federation has been something that he hasn't been able to walk away from. And so that continues to be the case. Whether or not that is a factor in him getting another shot at another cycle, like, I don't think it is. I think U.S. Soccer's tried to distance themselves from that and honestly distance his brother from the decision-making process. Matthew Crocker, who is the new sporting director for U.S. Soccer, was very adamant in saying that he took over this decision to rehire Greg Berhalter himself. And so I think that is interesting, though, because now Matthew Crocker, the sporting director, is very, very attached to Berhalter. Like, he made the decision after supposedly interviewing a lot of strong candidates. That's what he said. We've never seen the candidates list. We do know that Jesse Marsh, who's now coaching Canada at a quarterfinal in the Copa America, was one of those candidates. But Matthew Crocker has made a decision here. And now that's going to be the most difficult spot for him, because he decided to go with Greg Berhalter again, even though Berhalter had also been going through the domestic violence fiasco during that last World Cup when that broke, and they decided to stick with him. And now they're at a point where failure is beginning to follow this team, and they've regressed since the last World Cup. And so whatever happens next is really, really going to define the path of U.S. Soccer from now until the next World Cup.
So what's more of a problem? Is it coaching, or is it the talent level of where America is right now?
It's a great question, because I think before this failure at the Copa America, there was a general consensus, in my opinion, that the team was good, that the team was talented. 11 starters during their first match against Bolivia all play in Europe, and that's something that has never happened. It's never been part of U.S. Soccer's identity to have that many players playing in the top clubs in Europe. So I think the talent side, it was as if that was fixed. Everyone thought, okay, we've got a young team. They're one of the youngest teams at the last World Cup. That is a great thing a great position to be in before you host a World Cup, to be a young team with experience at a major tournament. So I think that was, we'll put that aside. And then coaching, like I said, Greg Berhalter had a reputation of being a good coach, of being very tactical, but immediately with the U.S. team and the talent that he had, I think there were a lot of, I think I would say disagreements with the fan base with the way that he played. It was very methodical. It's very possession-based, when American teams of the past have been very direct, very vertical, and physical. It's just one way that U.S. soccer teams in the past have leveled the playing field against some really good teams. And so that began, I think it became a bit of a divorce between talent and tactics. And now I think we're realizing that perhaps the team isn't as good as we thought. And it's not that they're a bad team or they're not talented. I think at the international level, though, it's just so much, it has a lot to do with, it's more than just talent. No one cares. Honestly, nobody cares who you play for when you get to an international tournament. If you look at the Euros, there's teams like Slovakia, Slovenia, that I'm sure no one can name anyone on that team, and they're taking some of the best teams they're really putting it to them. So that's something that this U.S. team is lacking, just edge, fight, grit. And they learned a lesson at this Copa America, where you're playing against South American teams that know everything about gamesmanship and the dark arts of the game, and they really took a punch to the face, this U.S. team. So right now, I think the question is literally what you just asked. Is this team even good enough? And we're going to find out.
I think, Felipe, you just started to answer my next question. I'm like a third grader in terms of my soccer fandom and knowledge. So after the match the other day, Alexi Lalas, who I know is a very debatable figure in this whole conversation, but he said something to the effect of, these are good players, but maybe they're not good national team players. What does that mean?
Yeah, I know Alexi really well. He knows what to say, right? He knows what to say to get something to go viral. But he has a point. That's what I'm saying here. It's like, these are players that have done a lot to get to where they are at the club level. Some of them are playing in Italy, England, France, for some really top brands in European football. But the thing is, they're not always starters. I think aside from Christian Pulisic, everyone else is fighting for a spot at their European club. They're in and out of the lineup. None of them are stars at their teams. And when you look around at the teams that they're playing, they have legitimate stars. Colombia, the team that beat them 5-1 in a pre-Copa friendly, they've got Liverpool, Luis Diaz at Liverpool, James Rodriguez, who was a star of a World Cup 10 years ago. They've managed to create a team that, when you put them together collectively at the international level, they know how to play, they know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, and they can adapt to their opponents. And I think that's what Alexi meant. This team, in my opinion, honestly, I've been on the air saying, like, do these guys even care? Like, sometimes there are games where they sleepwalk for 45 minutes, and that's where this is coming from. Like, they look great on Sunday and Saturday for their clubs, and then they come and dress for the United States, and it's like they don't know each other. And so that is something that falls on the coach, to be honest with you. Yes, the players should be able to pick up the suitcase and travel to their national teams and just play. But if that's happening, and that's happened consistently since the last World Cup, then you know that there's an issue, I think, from management, players being too complacent, players being too comfortable.
I noticed during the broadcast the other night, there was some criticism of how they were using Christian Pulisic. Like, it was on the coaching, and it wasn't on the player himself. Is there something that we're not unlocking there?
Yeah, I think, Pulisic is interesting because he doesn't really have a defined position. He hasn't had one since he really burst onto the scene around the time when the United States failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup. That he was still a teenager and he was really coming up at the time. He's played everywhere for both club and country. And I think it is an interesting, I would say, that's a key. That's a lock that needs to be unlocked for the next coach, because Berhalter perhaps hasn't figured that out. He's put him in different positions. He's played him as the 10, which is more of a central attacking midfield position for both club and country. He's played on both wings, and he tends to play on the left wing, being a right-footed player, because it allows him to cut inside and really go to goal hard. For AC Milan, his new club in Italy, they've moved him to the right as a right winger, and he said publicly, that's not the position I play in, but I've learned a lot. It does force him to use his left foot a lot. It does force him to defend a little bit more and to read the game differently. The field opens up in a different way when you're on that side. So I think it's been good for Christian Pulisic to play in different spots. But to your point, when you're in an elimination game and you need someone to really take over the game, if you're not sure where he should be, if Christian isn't sure where he should be, or if he's picking up the ball in 3 different positions, it's really tough. It's tough for him to do that, and it becomes a one man against 11. And that's what I think we saw against Uruguay. I thought Pulisic was fine, but Uruguay had studied him extensively, knew where he was going to be, and they really bodied him throughout the game, and there was not much he could do. So it is something that I think moving forward still has to be solved.
Felipe, this may be an ignorant question. I've asked it before on the air, and I'm going to ask it again because I want to hear the answer from as many people as possible. Along the lines of Pulisic being a good player, but not a truly elite player, in this huge country made up of people from all over the world with all different soccer backgrounds, how have we not even accidentally stumbled upon a truly world-class, indisputable, top-notch player to really anchor, whether it's an offensive player, a defender? There is no Jude Bellingham, there's no Vinny Jr., there's no real obvious, truly top tier player coming through the U.S. system. How is that possible, or am I looking at it the wrong way?
No, I mean, I think you're right in that there isn't a player like that. I mean, look at Lionel Messi. I think it's interesting that he's in another stratosphere, right? But when his teammates talk about him, they say things like, he's touched by God. He has an aura. He's an alien, like things like that. That's why he's such a special player, Messi, and that those types of players come every 20, 30 years, Pele, Maradona, and then Messi. Below that, though, there's a second tier of elite players, there's a third tier of elite players, and it has been really difficult for American players to get up to move into those spaces. And I think, a lot of it is culturally. I'm Colombian American. I grew up in the United States. I played soccer at a high level throughout my teenage years. I played in college, and I saw some really good players along the way. But when I would go to Colombia and see different types of players, it's like there's just a different way of playing. They play on the street. They know how how the ball bounces off concrete, and then they use that when they play on the grass. And it's culturally, the sport is developed in such a different way around the world than it is in the U.S. I think, and I've always been an advocate for U.S. soccer and even for the college system, but it's becoming so structured and so tactical and so technical in the U.S. that I think a lot of players are being developed, and they come out. It's like a conveyor belt of the same level of talent, and you need to break free of that. Culturally, the U.S. needs to break free of being so structured in a sporting sense, and letting players be more creative. But it's a really tough question to answer because those players, their backgrounds also are so much different from the average American soccer player, which are usually middle class to affluent. You're talking about players around the world that do not come from those backgrounds. They use the sport to get out of poverty, and that's just something that we may never see in the U.S. But to your point, I agree. The country has it is a melting pot of talent. There's people from all over the world here. A lot of Latino-based players in the U.S. that I think aren't getting the opportunities that they should be. They can change the way they play, the U.S. plays. And that's, again, this is something that Matthew Crocker, the sporting director, said when he took the job, that he has to get to know the talent pool in the U.S. that is different from probably any talent pool in the world because of the mix of culture. So it's not a switch that the U.S. can hit, and that's the concern because you're already just 2 years out from hosting the next World Cup.
Felipe, there's a great chat. Thank you so much for the time this morning. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of Copa.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Isn't that amazing that fighting your way out of poverty makes a better chance of being a superstar? You think that in most professions, growing up rich and affluent helps you succeed. I mean, on some logical, but that's like one of the downsides of America is it makes it sound a little lazy in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's just something to be said for overcoming adversity or having things put in front of you. Yep. Things are harder, or even guys who manufacture it out of nowhere that there is no adversity, but they make it feel like there is to give them the motivation. Like
Tom Brady grew up rich.
I guess very simply, it could be too easy sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, some people, there's a certain player coming into the NBA next year. Some people, not me, some people think that he's been handed things. His name is LeBron James Jr. I don't know which transitions
This is breaking news.
Some people think Bronny was handed things. I don't know why. Which brings us to Dexter Henry with the updates. What's the latest LeBron James news?
Not much in terms of LeBron James, except that he might be thinking about taking a little bit less, $1 million less. That's been reported in some places. So there still could be some movement on discussion with him and Chris Paul. Excuse me.
Right. So Woj reported an hour ago that he agreed to a 2-year deal, right? Yep. And now this 2-year deal is not done yet, and they're talking about $1 million one way or the other?
Yes, that's what they're talking about, $1 million one way or the other. That would keep them below the second apron, so it would give them some flexibility. That's really the update with it there.
Because, again, if they're under the second apron, they have a $12.9 million exception, but not a $5 million exception. This is the dumbest, most confusing setup of all time.
I know. The first apron and second apron.
Yeah, I got bird rights. I don't have bird rights. I got rookie max extensions or not. It's so infuriating.
I went to the online dictionary to find out what apron meant the other day. And it's not what you think it is. It's not like the thing you wear in the kitchen. It is stupid. Like, I don't think the NBA is helping itself with these idiotic rules. And also, too, the way they're building teams. This is about parity, right?
Yes.
They don't want the Clippers and Steve Ballmer to be able to buy a super team. I don't know if that's as exciting. I used to love the NBA offseason. This is kind of boring.
They don't want super teams, and they don't want movement. So they try to make it easier for you to keep people. Like, you can always pay more to keep your own guys than to bring new guys in. But guys are still moving around all the time.
Yeah.
We're still forcing trades, and we're still doing and then there's 8,000 different exceptions that I'm over the cap, but I still got this little thing I can use here. I traded a guy, so I have a hole to fill in that. It's just It should be much simpler.
Also, the money is a little embarrassing. And this is not just them. I mean, we talk about soccer, but Jason Tatum just signed, $304 million?
Yeah.
And then this is right now. In a few years, when that new TV money comes in, there's going to be an $80 million player. Right now, Luka's next year will be eligible to get $79 million in his last year. Like, what are we doing here? Does a basketball player need $80 million? Does like half the GDP of a country?
But that's the only easy thing about this setup is that some of these contracts are just science. Like it's just you put numbers in and it spits out. Okay, he can get 5 and 350.
Yeah.
There's no guessing. There's no true valuation. But all the other stuff makes my brain bleed.
Yeah, like the mid-level stuff.
Yeah.
And whether you can trade. Now, the Lakers can famously not package Russell with another player to get a player of equal cap value. I think it's a little overkill. I wish that, because I kind of want to see the Lakers be more competitive. I don't think they're going to be able to add a player.
I understand what the league was trying to do to say you pension to stop the Steve Ballmers of the world and give a little bit more parity to small markets. But I think it's too confusing. And I think, not me, I'm a diehard NBA fan, but the casual fan is going to be turned off by this.
But teams are confused too.
Yeah, well, and you're seeing teams make moves so that they can have flexibility, or they're being quicker in judging and saying, you know what, my team could be a second apron team, but they're not good enough to win a championship. I think that's exactly what the Clippers did with Paul George, right? Like they looked at it and said, yeah, we're not good enough to pay that.
Right.
Even Steve Ballmer, who's got all the money in the world, is like, nope, not worth it.
Right, and I think the Clippers, I like what the Clippers did in the sense that they didn't want to give Paul George a fourth year, right? And at some point, you got to get rid of these older players and start over. You're LA, you are the richest owner in the sport. You might get Wemby in 4 years, so you got to think like that. Like, I think you have to clear some flexibility. I know they did Harden. I'm not a huge fan of Harden, but at least in 3 years, they can start over. I mean, is anyone saying, wow, the Clippers really screwed up this Paul George thing?
No.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Did they win that trade? No, because Shea is a top 5 player.
No, they got destroyed. It's a terrible
that's the
trade.
problem.
That's the problem.
Right. But that's a sunk cost.
Agreed. And now they're at a point where they have to say, hey, what are we going to do? Are we going to – they might sell off some players by the middle of this year. I'd keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
They might sell Harden. Might sell Kawhi.
Man, I'd want Kawhi. If he was healthy, I would take – Kawhi's 32. I mean, I know he's been hurt a million times. But
I don't believe you.
3 years younger. He's 3 years younger than Paul George.
You said some crazy things this morning. Kawhi being only 32 is not a sentence I'm going to accept.
You're like, nope. Because you haven't seen him on the court that much.
I'm sorry. Oh, my God. June 29th, he turned 33.
I still don't believe you.
That
I would have
was-
lost a lot of money or eaten some horrible things on a bet revolving around his age.
That was last Thursday, he turned 33. Yeah, I know.
Man.
You know, Maggie and I always play this game of retired NFL players who are way younger than you think they are. Cam Newton, guess how old he is?
31.
33.
He's 35.
35.
But, yeah, and I think RG3 is still about 34, 35. I don't get it.
RG3 is firmly in a playing age.
Yes, and I never understood why that guy wasn't. He's 34. I mean, I'm a huge RG3 fan. Rookie year, like why that guy's on the NFL, I don't totally understand. But
always crazy.
Yeah, Bronny. I mean, I guess you got to in these sports, you got to clear space for superstars' kids to make a roster, right? Dexter?
Yeah, I guess you do. And then you also have to watch Bronny, which myself and AB will not be doing.
Can't wait.
Any other headlines?
Yes, got a couple more for you. We do have a trade in baseball. According to John Heyman of the New York Post, the Milwaukee Brewers are obtaining right-hander Aaron Savali from the Tampa Bay Rays for infielder Gregory Barrios. Now, Savali, he was traded last year at the trade deadline from Cleveland, went to Tampa Bay. But with the Rays, he produced a 5.17 ERA, 3.74 strikeout to walk ratio over the course of 27 starts. The thing with him is he struggled keeping the ball in the ballpark as he surrendered 1.6 home runs for every 9 innings pitched. Do you guys think he, with his struggles, can help the Brewers starting rotation?
You want a Brewers thought?
Dexter, I love how you throw out for our opinions.
I gotta ask you, would you trust him with these numbers? I'm just saying, with those numbers, I say no.
If you said, I'll give you $5,000 per off if you can name the player I was just talking about.
Hey.
Unless it's Jake Bogusch, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Hey, you're out here staying up late for Bronny James or planning to. So I don't know.
The Giants' hard knocks, not breaking down the Brewers' bullpen.
Fair enough. You know what? I have a better question.
Wait,
with somebody that you would know. I have a better question. Aaron Judge on pace right now.
Yes,
killing it.
Yes. I know Aaron Judge.
30. I'm good. 32nd homer. Didn't hit his 32nd homer until July 16th back in 2022. Do either of you think that he'll hit more than 62 homers?
He's going to hit
in
70.
2024.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah,
he's
70.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Why
What
do
a
you
number.
pitch within 90 feet of that guy? That's what I don't understand. Like, the only reason he wouldn't is because pitchers are just so terrified, like prime Barry Bonds. There is nowhere first of all, there's just nowhere to throw where he is not going to hit it.
No, he if there was no Ohtani, he'd be the best hitter on the planet. And he might still be.
He might be.
But it does not make, and don't forget, he was terrible for the first 5 weeks of the season.
Aaron Judge
hitting like 209 at the end of April.
Yep.
Most of this has been the last 2 months.
And he's already at 32 homers.
Yeah.
He has more homers and more RBI than Bryce Harper had in his entire 2021 MVP season. And he has that on July 3rd.
Well, I don't know why you need to take a shot at Bryce Harper.
Because he's a Philly.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Shohei, he'd probably win another MVP if he can get healthy. Yeah, no, Judge is unbelievable, but
I like you guys both going over, and I like AD putting a number on it at 70.
Yeah.
I like that.
I want to go back in the video, look at Bogusch and I's face when you asked about the Brewers rotation. You know that song Blank Space? Like that was a nothing. It was like Dexter.
You know, it's the Bronny talk today. I really thought you'd be in on that, Perloff. I thought you'd be there. I thought you'd know, but I was wrong.
He doesn't know Colin Arroyo, Bryce Wilson.
I know them. I know them well.
Chorio?
I was wrong.
I know Corbin Burns is not there anymore.
Did one of them just talk to us about soccer 10 minutes ago?
Oh,
I was talking about references that were over my head. Anyway.
We got to get that soccer knowledge up. We gotta get that.
Maggie, right now, I hope you are not listening. I apologize for what I am doing to our show. Dexter Henry, thank you very much. We'll wrap it up by talking about the random sport you have to watch this weekend. That's here on Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break.
In the world of sports talk, under digital skies, lives a fan named Ostrich Eyes 87 with a heart twice the size. He logs on to Twitch where the streams flow like dreams to catch every word from the man of his means. Oh, Ostrich Eyes, watching with awe. Your love for Bogusch, it breaks every law. Through twist streams and chats, his voice rings so true. Ostrich Eyes 87, this verse is for you. From comments to cheers, he's always partaking. With likes and subscriptions, the ground he is shaking. In the realm of sports talk, where legends are made, his loyalty shines, never bound.
Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, we're back. Maggie and Perloff, Andrew Bogusch in for Maggie Gray. I think we've learned a lot of random things today. We learned that Jaws is both yours and I favorite July 4th movie. I don't know if it is really a July 4th movie. We've learned that Dexter Henry, who's doing a great job on updates today, his favorite random sport is slap fighting, which led a caller to call about chess boxing, which is similar. It's like a combo, which I'm really excited to see. We learned a lot about the future of U.S. soccer. That was great. We talked Caleb Williams. And we got into LeBron James. Big debate. Do you want to see Bronny? LeBron signed his new contract, 2 years. I'm going to put you on the spot right here, Andrew Bogusch.
Mm-hmm.
This time next year, what is the conversation about the Lakers? Is this all going to go well? J.J. Redick in his first year. LeBron James took the full money. Maybe they have a little bit of room. Bronny James is going to play. Where are we in a year on the Lakers? Is it going to be something we're laughing at, or are we celebrating the 2024-25 Los Angeles Lakers?
Oh, we're not going to be celebrating them. They're going to be the same thing. I don't know that any coach could really make this that much different because LeBron and Anthony Davis are so entrenched in the organization, and because of that, there was so little room to maneuver into new personnel. So it's going to be the same season. They're going to fight through injuries. They're going to make the playoffs. We're going to think that they can do something once they're in there.
Yeah, because they're great the second half of the year.
Right.
They're one of the best teams in the league.
And then they're depending on the matchups will matter specifically for them, maybe more so than other teams. And they could win a round, or they could not survive the play-in. They're no different.
They matter. The matchups matter tremendously because Minnesota was built to play Denver, beat Denver,
right.
And then Minnesota had no prayer against Dallas. And then Dallas had no chance against Boston because of the matchups.
Yep.
So you're absolutely right. The Lakers need a kind draw like they got 2 years ago. I think we're just going to ride out. The Lakers are good. That's the best we're going to get. And that's why it's an entertaining sideshow to have Bronny James on the court. I know you think it is, and it's a joke, but what else are we going to watch with this Lakers? Because I agree, it's going to be the same thing over and over again. You are going to be so excited to see Bronny. That's ironic. You're a big sports dad, just like LeBron James. You guys are same.
If Bronny James earns those minutes, great. What I don't want is it to happen for the sake of it happening. That's going to spoil what should be a really cool moment for me. For all of us.
All right, let's go around the room. Anything fun and exciting going on for July 4th? I'll start. I'm going to Philly. We're doing fire. My mom is a fireworks psycho, loves fireworks, lights them off all night long.
She has them herself.
She has them. You can buy them legally in Pennsylvania at Costco. She goes to Costco, gets fireworks in bulk, so we're going to light some fires. Andrew Bogusch, what do you got?
I'm going to watch my neighbor set off a lot of fireworks. 4th of July is my second favorite day in my neighborhood. The worst day in my neighborhood is July 5th because I'm on the cleanup crew, so I got to wake up with brooms and leaf blowers and get all of the fireworks shrapnel off of lawns and the street in our little corner of the block. So I don't look forward to that part of it.
That's cool.
Maybe I'll tear my PCL at the party on the 4th and have to not help out on the cleanup crew, but we'll see. But this is a fun day tomorrow.
Manny Rodriguez, what do you do to July 4th?
Oh, I'll be Andrew Bogusch tomorrow on July 4th. I'll be in here at 5 in the morning doing updates.
Nothing says freedom like that.
All right, Ryan Botcher, what do you got?
I'm Pete Bellotti.
Oh, no.
Wow, we are ending on a low note.
You can say you're doing what people I don't say you're Pete Bellotti.
I'll be in his chair.
Hey, where is Bellotti?
Oh, he has a toothache.
No, I know. No, he has some serious things. By the way, everybody, prayers up for E.J. Stewart. I believe he's having surgery on his knee today.
Yeah, maybe right now.
Yeah, right now. He was, of course, heartbroken because the Knicks lost Isaiah Hartenstein, and he also is having knee surgery. So I don't think he's going to have a fun July 4th. But I hope everyone out there has a fun and safe July 4th. We'll have a new hot dog eating contest champion when we come back Monday. There's a lot going on. No, seriously, have a great time. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks, everyone here. We will talk to you soon. Happy 4th.